The boy awoke in a cold sweat, fear gripping him tightly in his own room. He felt different. His body was younger. Somehow, he had been thrown 10 years into the past, right back to his college days. In this timeline, he was still vulnerable. Nothing more than easy prey for the bullies who had tormented him. But this time, things would be different. He is no longer the helpless victim they once exploited, and they are about to learn that lesson the hard way. Suddenly, Chen is taken by surprise as a system window materializes before him, announcing the power of gluttony has been completed. The realization crashes over him like a concrete wall. As of today, there are precisely 3 years remaining until the Demon Lord emerges on Earth. The first to arrive, the Demon of Wrath, will rip open the very gates of hell, unleashing an endless horde of interdimensional monsters to invade the planet. Humanity will be obliterated without a trace. Chen remembers it all vividly. He was the last survivor of the human race. In a final, brutal sacrifice, he laid down his life to defeat the Demon Lord. With no time to ponder the miracle of his regression, Chen redirects his attention to what truly matters, deciphering the raw power pulsating within the system window. As he concentrates, the interface shifts, revealing his current status. The data resembled something straight out of a game, yet these were his actual stats. He had never encountered anything like this before. In his past life, he always fought using his awakened power directly. Only 1 in 10,000 people can become awakened, and the prestigious National University of the Awakened only accepts those with the potential to harness such abilities. In his previous life, Shi Chen never managed to awaken during his university years. He spent 4 long years at the very bottom of the social hierarchy, where anyone could push him around without consequence. But now a new panel materializes before him, revealing his past life class, Electric Assassin. As he feels a surge of power coursing through his body, he begins to wonder if the strength he once possessed has returned with him. Before Shi Chen can test the interface, it suddenly begins cycling through various classes. His moment of focus is interrupted when the apartment door swings open. Ma Long, a flower enchanter of rank E, steps inside, surprise etched on his face. "You're awake," he exclaims, concern lacing his voice. "Are you feeling all right?" Shi Chen nods, assuring him, "I'm fine." However, he quietly observes that the others cannot see the interface at all. Ma Long examines him closely and notes that his injuries have completely healed, a remarkable feat considering the beating he endured just the day before. Shi Chen recognizes his roommate. Ma Long had awakened at university but consistently ranked at the bottom of their class. In the previous timeline, he had tragically died just 3 days after the Demon Lords descended. Yet now, here he stands, alive and well. At this moment, Shi Chen truly feels deep within his bones that he has returned. Ma Long places a reassuring hand on his shoulder, reminding him that the level test is tomorrow. He urges Shi Chen to rest and prepare, emphasizing that even without an awakening, the test is crucial for graduation. As evening falls, the city buzzes with life. People gather to chat, unwind, exercise, and simply enjoy the vibrant atmosphere. Shi Chen quietly observes that it has been a long time since he has seen so many people alive. Ma Long suggests they take a stroll around the field. As they walk, Shi Chen's thoughts turn to the stakes at hand. He has already faced defeat once, and if he remains inactive, that same grim future will inevitably return. He knows he must act swiftly and level up as quickly as possible. He reflects on what he knows. In this era, the only way to gain levels is by defeating monsters lurking within demon lairs. However, nearly all of them are dominated by the major guilds, leaving outsiders with almost no chance of gaining entry. He glances at his current attributes, pondering how they compare to other awakened individuals and monsters. The government has established a ranking system to gauge strength, where most students fall at rank E, with only a select few achieving rank D. He believes he can estimate his own level based on his experience points, and he's fairly confident that he is already stronger than Ma Long. Before that thought could develop, a ball soared across the field and struck Ma Long square in the face. His friend crumpled to the ground, groaning in pain. A man on the court noticed them instantly and remarked on how quickly they seemed to recover. Ma Long muttered under his breath, lamenting their unfortunate luck in encountering this guy. Shi Chen remained silent, his gaze fixed on the man. The man, unfazed, points out that they witnessed him playing ball yet failed to bring 2 cases of drinks. Ma Long quickly apologizes, eager to make amends. But before he can offer to fetch the drinks, Shi Chen steps in, asserting that Ma Long has nothing to apologize for. Instead, he makes it clear that the real offenders are the ones standing on that court. Memories from Shichen's past surge through his mind. He finds himself submerged underwater, struggling to breathe as a group of delinquents torments him in a grimy bathroom. Ma Long pleads with them to stop, desperation in his voice, but the ringleader merely scoffs, insisting he's doing Shichen a favor. After all, since Shichen hasn't awakened yet, a little provocation is supposedly warranted. His crew laughs heartily, but one of them quickly points out that Shichen has already passed out, dampening the mood. Ma Long crouches down to check on him. Meanwhile, the protagonist, still sprawled on the ground, wonders aloud why these people can never just leave them alone. He mutters that pure malice isn't confined to demonic layers. The delinquent catches his words and leans in, asking if Shichen just said something. If that's the case, the beating continues. Back in the present, the same delinquent appears to be picking up right where things left off. Ma Long stands there completely unaware of what's being said. Meanwhile, Gong Chung, a rank E, awakened with the flower attribute, begins to gather his power in his hands. Shichen sizes him up, recognizing that this guy only throws his weight around because his brother leads the student council as the strongest fighter in the school. To Shichen, that reputation isn't all that impressive. The crowd surrounding them chuckles in anticipation, expecting Gong Chung to send the two of them to the hospital once more, dubbing them the most useless pair around. Gong Cheng strides up to the protagonist, his expression fierce as he demands to know what was just said. Shichen meets his gaze, calmly instructing him to stop bothering them from that moment on. This only fuels Gong Cheng's anger. He winds up his fist, hurling a punch at Shichen while hurling insults, calling him a piece of trash. Shichen halts the blow effortlessly with just his fist, the impact forcing Gong Chung to stumble back, wincing as he clutches his wrist in pain. A hush falls over the crowd, each person grappling with the shock of witnessing Shichen block Gong Cheng's strike without having awakened at all. Fury ignites within Gong Cheng. How dare someone who hasn't even awakened challenge him? Shichen declares that this is actually perfect and plans to use Gong Cheng for a test. He activates his class, tripling his speed and doubling his strength. Ma Long gasps in disbelief, realizing that Shichen has truly awakened, while the protagonist assumes a fighting stance. Meanwhile, Gong Cheng's fury intensifies. He activates his indestructible demonic armor and taunts Shichen, implying that he has forgotten the sensation of a real punch. But before Gong Cheng can even brace himself, Shichen appears right before him, delivering a precise cross straight to his face. Gong Cheng is sent tumbling backward, leaving the crowd in stunned disbelief at what they just witnessed. With a single punch, everything changed. Ma Long stood frozen, his jaw dropping in disbelief. The crowd began to murmur, questioning if this was truly the same Shichen they once knew. Meanwhile, Gong Cheng, struggling to regain his footing, accused Shichen of catching him off guard. He turned to his friends, demanding, "Are you all just going to stand there and watch?" The white-haired man stutters, his eyes wide with fear as he stares at the protagonist, as if confronted by a monster. With a fierce determination, Gong Cheng lunges forward, vowing to take Shichen's life. But Shichen effortlessly catches his wrist, squeezing with a crushing grip. He then pulls back his other fist, his voice steady as he tells Gong Cheng, "You're far too weak." He unleashes a flurry of punches, each one landing with brutal precision, before finally hurling the man away. Gong Cheng crashes violently into the wall, left battered and broken from the onslaught. Meanwhile, Ma Long drops to his knees, struggling to comprehend when exactly Shichen had become this powerful. Shichen surveys the scene, taking in the aftermath of his overwhelming strength. He can draw a few conclusions now. Just like before, he can activate his electric assassin mode at will. Even in his base state, he can easily handle low-level awakened fighters, indicating that he is already above rank E, though he still can't pinpoint his exact standing. However, another troubling question lingers in his mind. He defeated Gong Cheng, so why haven't his status points changed at all? He charges a bolt of lightning in his hand, contemplating a possibility that flickers in his mind. Ma Long, visibly anxious, asks what he plans to do. Shichen aims the crackling energy directly at him, pondering whether the path to gaining experience mirrors that of his past life. Just then, a girl approaches from behind, reminding them that they are still on school grounds. Ling Yu, the vice president of the student council, intervenes, addressing Shichen with a firm tone. "While it's true they struck first, your response was more than sufficient. Trust me, they won't dare to lay a hand on you again." With her words hanging in the air, Shichen finally releases the guy, a silent acknowledgement of Ling Yu's authority. He wonders why the student council is so eager to protect him, and whether he should take action. After all, if people like that aren't genuinely afraid, they'll only continue to cause trouble in the future. Meanwhile, the two delinquents, visibly shaken, exchange glances and admit that his expression was downright terrifying. They agree that it's best not to cross him again. Shi-chen quietly contemplates whether those two were truly meant to be the weakest and poorest students in the school. Ling Yu ponders this, turning those labels over in her mind. Later, back at the male dormitory, Ma Long is buzzing with excitement. He exclaims that Shi-chen has indeed awakened, and not only that, he's a powerful electric type. He completely dominated Gong Chung, leaving those guys unable to even meet his gaze. Xiang Zua, a rank E-Corps mage, inquires about Shi-chen's whereabouts. Ma Long questions whether he truly believes Shi-chen would flee. Xiang Zhu retorts that if Shi-chen had grown that powerful, he wouldn't need to waste time on basic training. Yu, his fellow flower enchantment mage of the same rank, chimes in, suggesting that Ma Long must have taken a few hits to the head. Zuo snaps back, reminding them that the four of them ended up in the same dormitory precisely because their evaluations placed them in the bottom four of the entire year of fact that remains undeniable. He ranks fourth from the bottom, which paradoxically makes him the top combatant in the dormitory and the sole combat type among his peers. This, he insists, is an undeniable and unchangeable truth. He scoffs at the idea of a soft-handed guy like Shi-chen awakening an electric-type ability. Yet, despite his doubts about others, he can't shake the feeling that he's been growing stronger lately. Perhaps, just perhaps, he might even qualify for a club. Yu interjects, reminding everyone that tomorrow marks the final level evaluation before graduation. Meanwhile, in the Rank E training den, a figure steps forward. It's Gong Yan, the president of the student council. He declares that training has concluded for the day. As he exits, he casts a glance to the side and notices his brother still waiting for him. Gong Cheng expresses his frustration, insisting he won't be able to sleep tonight unless something changes. Shi-chen's public humiliation has left a bitter taste, and it's clear he holds no respect for them. Yan nods, already aware of the situation, and assures Gong Cheng that he will find a way to resolve it. Later, as Gong Yan slices through meat with precision, Ling Yu inquires about his plan to confront the issue at hand. Yan states matter-of-factly that his brother lost due to his weakness, then ponders whether Shi-chen is truly strong. Lin Yu responds, acknowledging that he understands his brother's level and strength, but he questions whether Shi-chen is strong enough to compete with the best. He adds that in their school, fewer than 10 students have achieved rank B, and he has managed to recruit all of them into his club. Beyond that, no one else stands a chance of entering the den. Average awakened individuals lack a clear path to improvement, unable to match his relentless pace. Meanwhile, Shi-chen is pushing himself, running 20 kilometers with a staggering 100 kilos strapped to his back. This grueling training is designed to enhance his physical capabilities, as the potential of an awakened person is directly tied to their physical strength. Only a robust body can fully unleash their true power. Yet, he knows this is still far from sufficient. His thoughts wander back to 2160, when the demon lord Fury emerged from his lair and unleashed chaos upon the world, claiming countless human lives in an instant. Tragically, his only family, his younger sister, fell victim to Fury's wrath. It was also Fury who tore open the gates of hell, allowing other demon lords to flood into the realm. He keeps running, and a singular thought crystallizes in his mind. He must take down Fury. Fury is the catalyst of destruction, and time is running out. Only 3 years remain before the descent. He knows he's growing stronger, but he needs to accelerate his progress even more. Just then, his phone rings. He unlocks the screen and sees that Si-Yoon is calling. He answers the call immediately. His sister asks why he had called so many times today, explaining that she was competing and her phone had died. But then she adds that if she wins the prize, it will cover their overdue rent. Si-chen reflects on that shattered future, recalling how many times he had prayed to the heavens for a chance to start anew, no matter the cost, even if it meant facing endless turmoil. Si-Yun continues to speak, assuring him that once the competition concludes, they will meet up, and he should await her good news. The protagonist gazes ahead, a realization dawning on him. Everything has begun anew. Determined, he pushes himself to complete 3 more laps, driven by the urgent need to grow stronger and protect everything he holds dear. 8 hours have passed since he returned to this time. He has been adjusting to this new body, weak yet youthful. Now, he must focus on what truly matters. To level up, he needs access to a den, but those dens are tightly controlled by the guilds. For most people, especially those without wealth, the chance to evolve is nearly impossible. As he contemplates his next move, he can't help but wonder, what exactly is the power of gluttony? Suddenly, a system begins to load, its initialization completing with a decisive announcement. The gluttony system is now active. Si Chen jolts awake, his body instinctively performing a series of acrobatic movements as he struggles to regain his balance. Once steady, he looks up to find a towering structure looming directly in front of him. He has no idea where he is and questions whether he was even asleep. Si Chen gazes up at the towering structure before him, struggling to comprehend his surroundings. Just as he begins to ponder, the red river below starts to churn violently, and monstrous figures begin to claw their way to the surface. Waves of funeral flames, rank E-Cloud class warriors surge forth, ready to unleash chaos. Si Chen can't shake the feeling that he has stumbled into a demonic lair. Though his situation remains unclear, he resolves to confront the immediate threat before him. As the funeral flames surge toward him, he unleashes a burst of incredible speed, slicing through the flames with precision and collecting 3 funeral flame fangs in the process. With his current strength, rank E, monsters have become almost embarrassingly easy to defeat. Everything around him feels strikingly real, nothing like a mere dream. More importantly, he understands that this place offers him valuable experience and levels. Upon reaching level 2, all of his attributes will increase by 5 points. He truly possesses a demonic lair that he can clear entirely on his own. Suddenly, a funeral flame king charges at him from behind. In that moment, Si Chen resolves to make this his true training ground. With a surge of determination, he unleashes a bolt of lightning, effortlessly splitting the monster in half. The victory propels him to new heights as he levels up once more. Defeating a boss grants him experience several times greater than that of ordinary monsters of the same rank, allowing him to ascend 2 levels in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, a new term appears in his interface 1 that Si Chen does not recognize. It mentions something about being devourable. Si Chen is taken aback, his curiosity piqued. He points his hand toward the fallen boss, pondering aloud if this is what the power of gluttony truly entails. The system responds without delay. It begins to devour the monster, pulling it into the palm of his hand until it collapses into a card. With this ability, he can take a life, consume an opponent, and convert them into his own class. But then, something else captures his attention. He wonders if this is not the power of the demon lord Lan Yue's power that now belongs to him. In a world where classes come with inherent strengths and each individual is bound to a single class, Si Chen defies the norm by possessing 2 at once. As he continues to devour magical beasts, he discovers that there may be no limit to the number of classes he can acquire. He wonders why he has been bestowed with this power and what the mysterious tower looming behind him truly is. Suddenly, an overwhelming pressure crashes down upon him, leaving him momentarily stunned. Before he can fully grasp the situation, a calm and deliberate voice resonates in the air, announcing that he has finally arrived and that it has been waiting for him for a long time. The voice addresses him directly, calling him by name Si Chen. Si Chen sprints across the Red River, his heart pounding in his chest. Memories of his past life flood his mind. He had nearly perished in his quest to reach rank S, only to find his combat power barely scraping rank D. Now, looming on the other side is a rank S boss, a formidable opponent whose strength dwarfs his own. The chasm between them feels insurmountable. He struggles to comprehend the nature of this lair and the presence of a rank S monster within it. What unsettles him even more is the creature's unsettling familiarity. It knows his name. As they trade blows, he realizes they've exchanged nearly a dozen strikes. Yet throughout this fierce encounter, the monster has had countless chances to end his life, but has chosen not to seize a single one. Instead, the creature relentlessly knocks him aside, skillfully avoiding his vital points, bringing him down time and again without delivering a final blow. It taunts him, asking if he still intends to keep fighting. Si Chen quickly assesses the situation. The monster wants him to submit. The Lord makes its intentions clear, presenting Si with an offer he cannot ignore. Chen is urged to reconsider, presented with a rare opportunity to remain and guard the magical tower. Without hesitation, Si Chen firmly declines. No matter what happens, he refuses to stay in this cursed place. In response, the monster slashes his arm, leaving Si Chen momentarily stunned. The creature then coldly informs him that he doesn't grasp just how close he is to losing his life. It reveals that its patience has been a luxury afforded only because he is the first to make it this far. The funeral flames flicker and shift, their hues deepening into a rich purple. The Lord intensifies their power, presenting Si Chen with one final choice: stay or be obliterated. With determination, Si Chen activates his class, making his intentions unmistakably clear. He's ready to take down this beast. The monster, however, scoffs at his declaration, hurling stones in response, dismissing his resolve as nothing more than folly. Si Chen deftly navigates the incoming projectiles, closing the distance with lightning speed. His mind races, processing everything that has just unfolded. As he observes, he realizes that before each sword strike, there's a brief delay of 4 milliseconds. He can read the angle of force in the monster's wrist, track its trajectory, and slip past the blade with precision. After each strike, there's a brief recovery pause of just 2 milliseconds. If he times his attack perfectly to land within that window, he can strike when the monster is completely vulnerable. His plan is to drive an electric blade straight to its heart in that fleeting moment. While defeating a rank S monster is out of the question, a full power paralysis strike could immobilize it for at least a few crucial seconds. The monster is swift, which is why he never had enough distance before. But now, just a few seconds is all he needs to escape. He has also been keeping a close eye on the light. A single light source flickers in the darkness, and he approaches it with his palm outstretched. Convinced, it has suddenly disappeared. The monster's voice cuts through the silence, taunting him. "What a shame," it says, revealing that the exit he thought he found was merely an illusion it had crafted. There's no way out, for this is not a demonic lair. But then, its tone shifts, hinting at something darker. It acknowledges that discovering the gap in its attack pattern so swiftly was truly impressive. Even under such desperate, suffocating pressure, Si Chen remained composed, analyzing the fight with clarity and uncovering a thread of hope to grasp. The creature declares itself as the very embodiment of hope, revealing its true form, a Rakshasa of Purgatory, a formidable star element warrior class monster. Si Chen's eyes widen in recognition as he stares at it. That face, he has seen it before. It belongs to the demon lord Lan Yu. In his past life, during the climactic battle, Si Chen witnessed the monster suddenly transform mid-fight, cycling through a series of formidable classes. It struck him with fire, then unleashed the power of flowers, followed by a jolt of electricity. But one particular form ignited a vivid memory. He recognized it. He realized he had been consumed by Lan Yue's power, with the essence of gluttony now intertwined with his very being. As he pondered whether the space around him was, in fact, a part of himself, Rakshasa interjected. He praised Si Chen, noting not only his impressive resilience under pressure, but also his keen intellect. "You deserve to claim everything that exists in this realm," Rakshasa declared. Si Chen presses Rakshasa for clarification on what he means. In response, Rakshasa conjures a key from the temporal rift, revealing that it belongs to the demonic tower. He explains that Lan Yue has consumed countless cruel demons over the ages, sealing the most powerful of them within that tower behind him. To grow stronger, Si Chen must devour these demons, transforming their power into his own. Si Chen is curious about why Rakshasa is teaching him and offering his assistance. Rakshasa reveals that, even among demons, there exists a distinction between good and evil. His own clan was annihilated by the demon lords, driven by nothing but selfishness. For years, he has bided his time, waiting for the perfect moment to exact his revenge. And now, that moment has arrived. He adds that someone once told him the truth. Si Chen is their only hope. Si Chen inquires about the identity of a mysterious figure, but Rakshasa cryptically replies that the answers lie within the demonic realm, and it's up to Si Chen to uncover them. He urges Si Chen to harness this power and seek vengeance for past wrongs. When Si Chen presses for further details, Rakshasa gets straight to the heart of the matter. From this moment forward, Si Chen must grow stronger, unlock the gate of the demonic tower, and consume everything within it. The demons sealed within will not show him the same mercy that Rakshasa did. They are the most cruel and cunning beings in this world, and he must confront each one of them to rise to the very top. Ultimately, even the demon lords themselves must be devoured. As Rakshasa begins to fade, his essence dissolving into the ether, he declares that only someone like Si Chen is worthy of inheriting his power. Si Chen devours his foe, soaring to level 10 in a single leap and claiming 2 infernal bones from Rakshasa as his spoils. "I understand," he declares, determination burning in his eyes. "I will carry your will forward and ensure that those responsible pay in blood." With that vow, he receives Rakshasa's class, sealing his commitment to vengeance. Morning breaks as a voice calls out, urging everyone to rise. Sai Chen sits up instantly, alert. Shang reminds the group that they need to clear out soon to avoid disrupting the dormitory schedule. As Si Chen assesses himself, he realizes his injuries have healed completely. A flicker of doubt crosses his mind. Could it all have been just a dream? He wonders if he truly has what it takes to reach level 10. However, his system reveals a different tale, and the Lu he gathered is right at his side. In just one night, he has soared to level 10, a significant achievement that likely elevates his rank. Before he can ponder this further, Xiang Zhua calls out to him, mentioning that someone had been boasting the day before about their strength and their intention to challenge his position as the top student in the dormitory. He tells Si Chen that they need to hurry, as the ranking evaluation is about to start, and he's eager to see what this person is truly capable of. A little later, Shi Qin leisurely munches on a piece of bread, lost in thought. The dormitory seems to be filled entirely with Class E students, but he reminds himself that each class is divided into 3 tiers. While the others are in the lower tier, he occupies the middle tier, a position that carries its own weight. The disparity in strength between each tier is substantial, and he believes he could take on 10 of them single-handedly. Moreover, considering he hasn't been tested in 2 years, his class ranking might have improved during that time. Ma Long shouts to Shi Chen, urging him to unleash his full potential and secure a Class D ranking, just to astonish everyone. Shi Chen murmurs Class D to himself, allowing the words to sink in. They arrive at the evaluation site a bit later than expected, and Sheng Zhuo is taken aback by the sheer number of people who have already gathered. Just then, Gong Cheng's delinquent crew approaches, prompting the 3 of them to silently agree to keep their distance. However, the atmosphere grows tense as the gang casts a glance in their direction. Shi Chen turns to face them directly, and in an instant, the delinquents bow, greeting him as brother Shi Chen. Sheng Zhuo watches in confusion, questioning why they're showing such deference, and begins to wonder if Ma Long's words might hold some truth after all. Meanwhile, Shi Chen strides forward, unfazed by the display. Suddenly, a voice calls out, halting him in his tracks. Cheng Di, a prominent member of the student council, steps forward and reveals that he heard Shi Chen had an encounter with Gong Cheng. He also mentions that Shi Chen is the biological brother of the esteemed council president, Gong Yan. From a distance, onlookers murmur among themselves, recognizing that Cheng Di is not merely a lackey of the president, but a significant figure in Class D. They wonder why someone of his stature would take an interest in Shi Chen. Zhang Bi turns to Shi Chen, noting his remarkably keen sense of smell. He claims he can detect the scent of true power, but to his surprise, Shi Chen only carries the aroma of someone destined to remain at the bottom. In response, Shi Chen fires back with a sharp retort, questioning whether Cheng Di sees himself as some kind of dog. Cheng Di erupts with anger, demanding to know what was just said. However, before the situation can spiral out of control, a third voice intervenes. Gong Yan steps forward, his demeanor calm. He explains that he has investigated the matter and reveals that his brother was in the wrong from the very start. In his eyes, taking responsibility for one's mistakes is only just. He locks his gaze on the 2 of them for a moment, and a heavy tension fills the air. Shi Chen remains silent, standing his ground. Just then, a professor steps forward, breaking the silence with an announcement. The classification test is about to commence. Students are instructed to take the stage in an orderly manner when their names are called. Gong Yan turns to his group, instructing them to prepare while discreetly assessing Shi Chen. He concludes that Shi Chen doesn't seem like much of a threat. Meanwhile, from a distance, 2 figures observe the scene. A man muses about what has brought him here today, pondering if he has spotted someone worth monitoring. The woman beside him adds that it could prove to be quite intriguing. An hour passes, and it's finally Shang Zhuo's turn. He steps forward, confidently declaring that this is the moment his true strength will be revealed. With determination, he walks through the portal into the testing area. The classification test unfolds in a unique way. Each student enters a special demonic lair alone, where a demonic heart lies at the center, ready to absorb energy. The awakened individual unleashes their full energy in front of the heart. The heart processes this energy, transmitting the data through cables to external equipment, where it manifests on a display screen as raw data. Shan Zhuo launches his energy ball, and the heart absorbs it. The cables relay the signal, and the screen flickers to life, revealing his results. He receives a rank E at the middle level, prompting murmurs from the crowd as they notice the second piece of data has yet to appear. Ma Long steps forward to clarify the significance of this second reading. Beyond the current classification, the test also evaluates something known as potential. Just moments later, the screen shifts again, and Ma Long emphasizes that individuals with high potential often draw serious interest from the government. As the test concludes, Xianzhuo emerges with his head hung low, having received a rank E at the middle level. With the potential of rank C, Ma Long attempts to lift his spirits, reminding him that others have fared even worse and that he's not alone in missing the rank D threshold. They're all in the same boat. Just then, the system announces a rank D result with a potential of B, and the first rank D student of the class steps forward. Time marches forward. Ching Di finds himself matching a rank D, yet his potential registers as an A. Ma Long lets out a groan, lamenting that this marks the 8th consecutive rank D. The professors share concerned glances, recognizing that this year is yielding an unusually high number of rank D talents. Even among the lower ranks, such results are rare for students lacking prior field experience. The next name called is Gong Yan, who swiftly takes his place. The room hums with anticipation, all eyes on him. As the student council president and the young master of the Imperial Guild, he carries a certain weight. Sai Chen observes from his position, listening to the murmurs in the crowd. They remind one another that Gong Yan achieved rank D 2 years ago in a previous test, and that the highest classification recorded for this exam is a middle-level rank D. Inside the demonic lair, Gong Yan cracks open his eye just a fraction and extends his hand, deep in thought. He knows that the true test will come during the practical exam, so for now, he only needs to hold back. Yet, he is confident that he will emerge victorious. As he concentrates, the numbers on the scoreboard begin to shift. One of the professors observes that the color is unlike anything they have encountered before. Gong Yan's results are confirmed as rank D superior, with the potential to reach rank S. The room erupts in disbelief. Everyone struggles to comprehend what they are witnessing. As the top student at the school, extraordinary achievements were anticipated, but this surpasses all expectations. Ma Long is practically beside himself, exclaiming that their school has just produced a rank S potential, marking a historic moment. The professors quickly dive into a heated debate about whether to inform their superiors immediately. A rank S awakened individual is regarded as a rare national treasure, someone who will undoubtedly attract special attention and protection from the government. Moreover, being the young master of the Imperial Guild means this outcome is destined to make headlines worldwide. The man observing comments on the remarkable talent present this year. The woman beside him nods in agreement, feeling that she was already aware of Gong Yan's rank's potential, which is precisely why she decided to attend. However, she quickly clarifies that he isn't the main reason for her presence today. In contrast to Gong Yan, she admits her curiosity lies more with someone else's performance. Just then, the professor summons Si Chen to the stage. Without hesitation, Chang Di steps in, firmly reminding Si Chen that he should return to the dormitory where he belongs. If his ranking result comes back lower than rank E, they will all be thrown together in the same dismal group, destined to become the biggest embarrassment the university has ever witnessed when the practical evaluation arrives. Ma Long urges him to wait and see, confident that Si Chen is about to prove everyone wrong. Shangzhou is filled with uncertainty, quietly questioning whether Si Chen can truly succeed. Within the depths of the demonic heart chamber, the eye stirs, sensing an impending shift. Si Chen maintains his composure, his stance unwavering. The narration momentarily pulls back to reveal the stakes at hand. In this era, the most promising path for any awakened individual is to join a high-level guild, and the only genuine opportunity to achieve that lies in the practical evaluation. Teams of up to 10 can enter, and candidates are free to choose their own members. The team that finishes in first place will have every member recruited by the Imperial Guild, the most prestigious guild in the entire country. So, beyond simply ranking each participant, this evaluation serves an even greater purpose. Chang Di chuckles and remarks, "Look at this. It's Yan Lin, a rank D inferior." And just like that, his team of 10 is complete 9 rank D members alongside Gong Cheng. In this environment, it's only natural for the strongest to band together, while the weakest are pushed out or cut entirely. Ma Long begins to voice his concerns. Si Chen has been inside for quite some time now, and not a single sound has emerged from within. Before long, people begin to file out of the chamber. Chang Di dismisses the remaining individuals with a scornful remark, labeling them as garbage and insisting there's no point in lingering. Meanwhile, Gong Yan calls for the rest of the team to gather. As they assemble, the ranking suddenly appears on the display screen, rank D superior. The room falls silent for a moment before erupting into chaos. Everyone is taken aback. The outcome is utterly unforeseen, leaving Chang Di bewildered. Within the chamber, the demonic heart thrashes in a frenzy, insisting that the test be repeated. Sai Chen surveys the scene, realizing he achieved this with nothing but his base form. With no class swap in sight, his rank had already registered as D superior. Determined to push beyond his limits, he decided to switch classes. As he did, his ranking began to rise once more, climbing to mid-level rank C. The crowd outside grew increasingly agitated, their excitement palpable as they witnessed the numbers soar for a second time. Meanwhile, Zhang Di couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss with the equipment. The professors begin to wonder if there's an internal system error. The heart continues to throw errors, insisting on another retest. Sai Chen, confident that his other classes should be above a C, decides to activate the Rakshasa, his most powerful form. The heart responds with a visible jolt of alarm. Outside the chamber, a dark and oppressive energy begins to coalesce, transforming the atmosphere around them. Everyone looks up, unease creeping into their expressions as they try to comprehend the unsettling sensation. Shanye murmurs that today is destined to be historic. Meanwhile, Si Chen's latent potential starts to emerge, and the ranking skyrockets to S in an instant. The crowd erupts in disbelief, their voices a cacophony of shock and excitement. Gong Yan stands there, visibly shaken. Just then, another alert flashes on the screen. A second S appears. The system struggles to gauge his true potential, as the maximum threshold has already been surpassed. Gasps and cheers ripple through the crowd, with everyone buzzing about the possibility of an SSS rank. Suddenly, an explosion erupts within the chamber. A professor dashes toward the entrance, shouting that the demonic heart has overloaded and that the student inside might be in danger. He rushes in, only to find Si Chen standing there, gazing down at the ground with a look of shock. The demonic heart lies lifeless, its power extinguished. The professor ponders aloud whether it was simply overused today. Sai Chen believes he may have inadvertently exerted too much force, causing the heart to explode. However, this unexpected outcome brings a delightful surprise. His gluttony ability has consumed the energy contained within the demonic heart. Stepping out of the chamber, he activates his ability, and to his astonishment, he can now view everyone's rankings at a glance. This newfound insight proves to be incredibly useful. One detail immediately catches his attention. The group is sitting at roughly a mid-level rank of C. The professor addresses them, announcing that, unfortunately, the demonic heart has been exhausted and the test is suspended. Sai Chen's results are likely compromised and will be escalated up the chain. He informs the students who have not yet tested that they can return tomorrow. Ma Long and the twins hurriedly rush over, wrapping their arms around Si Chen in a warm embrace. However, Chang Di interrupts the moment with a sneer, declaring that someone like Si Chen could never achieve rank C. He dismisses the equipment as clearly broken and lays the blame squarely on Si Chen, accusing him of ruining the day for everyone. Now everyone has to return tomorrow because of you, he scoffs, his disdain palpable. Sai Chen begins to focus on one of his abilities, grumbling internally about his incessantly chatty opponent. If he doesn't quiet down soon, Si Chen might just have to take matters into his own hands. But before he can act, Gong Yan intervenes, admonishing Chang Di for his rudeness towards a teammate. Zhang Di shoots him a sharp glare, but before tensions can escalate, the president strides over. He extends his hand towards Si Chen, proposing an alliance for the graduation practical evaluation. With Si Chen on their team, he assures him they are practically guaranteed to achieve the highest score in the event's history. Gong Yan's friends are beginning to doubt the authenticity of the invitation, while Zhang Di said silently, if this stranger becomes part of the group, it means someone else will have to be cut, and he has no idea how to explain that to the others. Joining this elite team signifies claiming the top spot in the school, a position that some would struggle to attain even with all the money in the world. Why has this man received a personal invitation from Gong Yan himself? Disrespecting Gong Yan is simply not an option. Chang Di suppresses his frustration and places a hand on Si Chen's shoulder, saying that since the president himself extended the offer, he is welcome among them. Si Chen shrugs off the hand and replies flatly that he has no interest in joining them. The entire group falls into a heavy silence. Chang Di, unable to contain himself, erupts, reminding Si Chen that their squad holds the top ranking in the entire school. Sai Chen, unfazed, replies that it has nothing to do with him. He adds, with a hint of annoyance, that Chang Di is far too loud and should stop bothering him from now on. With that, he turns and walks back to his friends, leaving Chang Di seething with frustration. Word spreads through the school like wildfire. Sai Chen has rejected Gong Yan. Students begin to speculate whether Si Chen is determined to pursue the top rank on his own, especially since his test result came back as a mid-rank C. Meanwhile, Ma Long and Shang Yu find the entire situation thoroughly entertaining. As for Gong Yan, he takes it all in stride, casually remarking that it's fine and that his brother Si Chen clearly has his own plans. From his vantage point above the scene, Yuan Long observes the unfolding drama and muses that it's a shame the two didn't form a team. He had hoped this year would see a new historic record for the school. Ling Yu, however, counters that the situation has become even more intriguing. Gong Yan, born into privilege, now faces a public rejection that amounts to an open declaration of war. Their president, Ling Yu, is not someone to be underestimated. Zhang Di attempts to rationalize the situation, suggesting that the test results must be flawed and that Sai Chen isn't truly a rank C. However, Gong Yan counters this notion, emphasizing that even if the test were inaccurate, no matter how slim the chance, he cannot allow anyone to jeopardize his position at the top. Zhang Di argues that ultimately, Si Chen is just a student with no real combat experience, while they are elite fighters who have faced the horrors of demonic lairs. He volunteers to handle the situation personally. Gong Yan raises an eyebrow and asks if he truly looks like someone so petty. His loyal follower quickly shakes his head in agreement. With a sigh, Gong Yan declares that he simply isn't in the mood to get involved, leaving Chong Di free to deal with the others as he sees fit. Whatever happens will not involve him. Chong Di is taken aback by the response, but he quickly reads between the lines. He understands that whatever unfolds will have no ties to the president. About 10 minutes later, Chong Di receives news that truly surprises him. Si Chen has left the school grounds. One of his men confirms the news, reporting that Si Chen left for home without even pausing to eat. Zhang Di views this as a stroke of luck. Dealing with Si Chen off school grounds will be much easier. The narration then shifts back to Si Chen's past life. An elite guild, while exploring a demonic lair in the country of Shanghai, encountered a catastrophe that would change everything. Deep within the lair, they faced a formidable demon. Unlike any recorded before this was Fury. The entire elite guild was annihilated, and Fury broke free from its confines, descending into the human world. That is all Si Chen knows. In his new life, he has devised a plan to pinpoint the exact location of Fury's lair as swiftly as possible. However, to set this plan into motion, he requires a substantial amount of money. The Mithril Monster Market, operated by the Mithril Guild, is poised to become the largest supply market in the country. Weapons and equipment play a crucial role in determining the strength of any awakened individual, making the monster market an indispensable hub for buying and selling. For Sai Chen, this was the quickest way to acquire what he needed. At the market, an analyst scrutinized the items he had brought and asked how a student like him had come into possession of funeral flame fangs. Si Chen replied that they had dropped from a monster. The analyst, intrigued, admitted he had never encountered such a thing before. Just then, a girl interjected, stating that if she wasn't mistaken, these were the drops from a rank E cloud-type magic beast known as funeral flame. According to the records, these materials can either be used to craft a rank E core or ground into powder. The analyst muses aloud about how such items could possibly hold any significant value. He quickly reminds himself that their market thrives on VIPs, and the clientele here consists of esteemed awakened individuals. It's perfectly reasonable not to be well-versed in rank E materials. However, he can't shake the thought that high-level clients have been few and far between lately. At this rate, he wonders when he might finally earn that promotion to supervisor. He always finds himself dealing with challenging, low-profit customers. It's best to pass this one off to the new girl. He instructs Xiao Li to take care of the rest of the process for this client. As Xiao Li hands over the payment, she asks if there's anything else. Si Chen counts the money in his head 18,000, just enough to cover his rent. He then tells her there's one more thing and asks her to take a look at something for him. Xiaoli's eyes widen as she gazes upon an enormous striking sword. It's unlike anything she has ever seen, but her instincts tell her it's at least rank B, possibly even reaching rank A. The analyst, overhearing their conversation, interjects that a rank A weapon would be valued at over $1 million, adding that he has never personally encountered one. Before he can elaborate, another man interrupts, declaring that both of them are mistaken. It is neither B nor A. The analyst assumes his boss is suggesting it's something of lesser value and begins to agree, stating that a poor student would never possess anything truly valuable. However, his boss quickly corrects him, emphasizing that what Si Chen is carrying is unmistakably from the lands of purgatory. It is a rank S piece of equipment. At the mere mention of that classification, both of them freeze in place. The owner steps forward, taking Sai Chen's hand and welcoming him as a VIP client. He gestures toward a private room, assuring Si Chen that he can request anything he desires. In that moment, Si Chen realizes that the person he has been waiting for has finally arrived, Qing Ji, the esteemed owner of the Mithril Guild. In a private room heavy with the scent of incense, Qingji initiates the conversation, inquiring about how his guest plans to manage the equipment he brought. Sai-Chen responds matter-of-factly, stating that he wants 1 million. Qingji raises an eyebrow, noting that rank A equipment alone can command millions on the open market. He emphasizes that the weapons Si-Chen carries are rank S, which could undoubtedly create a stir if word got out. Surely 1 million, Si-Chen clarifies, establishing his stance. He doesn't intend to sell the weapon. Instead, he wants to use it as collateral for a loan of 1 million to be repaid within a month. Qingji's surprise is evident. It's not every day you see a university student thinking of using a rank S weapon as collateral rather than opting for a quick sale. The young man clearly plans to continue using it in the future. Qingji muses that such foresight suggests either a wealthy heir who left home on his own terms or someone truly exceptional. Sai-Chen nods, confirming the timeline in 1 month. When the deadline arrives, he will repay the principal along with 10% interest. Qingji gestures for Xiaoli to step outside for a moment, then lays his cards on the table. If I'm not mistaken, Si-Chen is a senior at the National University of the Awakened, about to graduate, he begins. As I understand it, the school conducts a practical graduation assessment every year, and this year's is just a month away, with a grand prize of exactly 1 million. Noticing the timing and the stakes, so Qingji takes a moment to guess the situation. Sai-Chen is brimming with confidence, convinced he will secure first place in the competition. His need for the prize money is so pressing that he's willing to put up something of great value as collateral. This urgency signals that his situation is dire. Considering all of this, Qingji decides to make an entirely different offer. He offers 1.5 million in cash immediately, with 0 interest for 1 month, framing it as a simple gesture of goodwill between friends. Si-Chen is taken aback. Qingji then adds one condition: everything discussed must remain strictly confidential. However, if Sai-Chen ever has business to pursue in the future, he requests that this market be his first stop, promising the best possible terms. Sai-Chen pauses to absorb the recent turn of events. With minimal information, Qingji not only discerned his background, but also understood his intentions with remarkable clarity. Instead of taking advantage of the situation, she offered him terms that exceeded his expectations. In this moment of reflection, the protagonist realizes that to overcome Furia, he cannot depend solely on his own strength. He must seek out trustworthy allies. This, he decides, is precisely what he needs. The deal is sealed with a magical binding, ensuring its permanence. Qingji confirms that everything is in order and that the funds have already been transferred to Si-Chen's account. Then, almost casually, Qingji adds that he noticed Si-Chen was carrying a rather impressive weapon earlier and inquires about his plans for the upcoming assessment. He offers to lend something from the guild's inventory, mentioning that while there's no rank S equipment available at the moment, they do have some solid rank A and rank B gear on hand. However, Si-Chen reaches into his own inventory and pulls out a weapon, revealing that he possesses another item of the same caliber. The room falls into complete silence, and everyone present is left utterly stunned. Sai-Chen bids farewell, leaving the guild buzzing with barely contained excitement. Qingji turns to Xiaoli, a proud smile on his face, and informs her that her dedication to securing this client has earned her an immediate promotion to supervisor. As Si-Chen steps outside, a thought strikes him. There's one more thing he needs to purchase. He hails a taxi and makes his way to the Kanchang district, heading toward the bus terminal. His thoughts drift back to a time when the weight of financial struggle pressed heavily upon him. Freshly graduated, he had yet to awaken his powers, and not a single guild would take him in. He scrounged for odd jobs just to make rent, and life with Xun was a genuine struggle. Despite their hardships, Su Yun had managed to secure a spot at the prestigious Central International Institute of Arts. She had once been excited about the opportunity, but the school was too far away. She insisted on staying close to her brother. The truth, however, was that she feared becoming a burden. In the end, she sacrificed her dream school because of that fear. Si-Chen jolts back to the present, realizing she should have been out by now. He quickly scans the area near the entrance. Suddenly, he hears her voice. Sa-Yun spots him and immediately scolds him, asking how many times she's told him to wait at the exit instead of the entrance. She wonders if he's just been standing there doing nothing. Si-Chen reflects that 7 years have passed since they last met. Sa-Yun shoves her luggage toward him, demanding that he carry it. Then she pauses, eyeing him curiously. "Why are you just standing there looking dazed? Did some girl turn you down?" She tells him they need to head home, recalling how chaotic the road to the exam was. Sai Chen pulls her into a tight hug, overwhelmed with emotion. 7 long years, he thinks. Finally, he is looking at his sister again. Sai Yun yelps, jabbing him in the ribs and warning him that he'll crush her if he squeezes any harder. She adds that he's been acting a bit strange lately and insists they need to get going. Sai Chen silently vows to himself, in this life, he will never allow her to suffer again. Meanwhile, Chang Di observes the road Si Chen travels on his way home. He instructs his companions to hold their positions and wait. The moment Si Chen appears, they will spring into action. Chang Di is determined to teach Si Chen a harsh lesson about the consequences of crossing him. Sai Chen's subordinates alert Chang Di that council members are approaching. If tensions rise any further, the protagonist could find himself in deep trouble. However, Chang Di shows no signs of retreat. He firmly states that his only goal is to teach Si Chen a lesson, though the sheer audacity of the situation is already starting to irritate him. An E rank, nobody daring to stand in his way is something he simply cannot tolerate. He recalls the moment Si Chen dismissed him, telling him to stop making noise and get lost. That memory alone solidifies his resolve. His order is straightforward and ruthless. They will beat Si Chen into a coma, ensuring he is unable to participate in the upcoming graduation evaluation. Chang Di gathers his crew, asserting his status as one of the school's finest cloud assassins. He warns them that this arrogant little upstart is about to run out of luck. Meanwhile, on a hillside path leading home, Si-yoon walks alongside her brother, noticing his unusual behavior over the past 2 days. Concerned, she suggests that the pressure of the upcoming graduation evaluation might be getting to him. A guy as straightforward as Sai Chen, she reasons, is unlikely to find himself caught up in romantic troubles. Regardless, she makes an effort to lift his spirits, humming a song he used to sing to her, one that spoke of life's long journey and how opportunities always come around in time. As she hums, Si Chen listens, realizing that she is sharper than he had initially given her credit for. She sensed the change in him the moment they met. Unbeknownst to her, he had awakened, still believing they were living the same life they always knew. When he assured her he was fine, Si-yoon interpreted it as stubbornness, the kind of wall men often build around themselves. She thought her brother was simply getting older, but that fleeting moment of concern was quickly overshadowed. Chang Di's crew was already lurking in the alley nearby. One of them catches sight of the girl walking alongside Si Chen and wonders where she came from. Chang Di views her presence as a stroke of luck. The alley is devoid of cameras, and he smirks, satisfied that the siblings are in for a rough night. Sai Chen, however, senses the hostile energy from afar. He quickly identifies them as members of the student council, and the fact that they ventured all the way to this place genuinely offends him. Without saying a word, he removes an earbud and gently places it in his sister's ear. "There's a song I've been listening to on repeat," he tells her. "You should check it out." Si-yoon finds it strange. When did he ever care about music? Yet, as the melody begins to play, she feels herself drawn in. It's as if the song carries someone's emotions within it, resonating deeply with her. Once she's settled, Si Chen turns and strides confidently toward the group, his demonic heart already awakened. He quickly assesses the situation. 5 rank E fighters and Chang Di himself, a formidable rank D. The music continues to play softly in Shu Yun's ear, a haunting backdrop to the tension. As the delinquents close in, Si Chen's mind drifts back to the year 2160, the year he lost his last remaining family member. He reflects on the 7 long years that separated him from his sister, a painful reminder of what he fought to protect. That thought ignites a fury within him that surpasses the ordinary. How dare they ruin this moment? With a surge of determination, he launches forward at full speed. His first kick connects with a man's head, sending him flying with almost contemptuous ease. Then comes the next kick, and the one after that. One by one, they fall in a single hit, unaware of the chaos unfolding just behind her as the song continues to play in Si-yoon's ears. Suddenly, one of the remaining subordinates charges in. With a swift motion, Si Chen seizes the man's arm and drives his elbow into it, shattering the bone with a sickening crack. The man cries out in agony, and before he can fully comprehend the situation, a punch lands squarely on his face, sending him flying. Chang Di watches in disbelief, struggling to understand how this kid possesses such strength. As Si Chen closes the distance between them, Chang Di takes a deep breath, puffing himself up one last time. He reminds himself that he is an elite cloud assassin, determined not to lose this fight. A single lightning strike silences that thought. The blast sends him hurtling through the air, and before he can even touch the ground, Si Chen is upon him, delivering a crushing blow to his jaw that seals his fate. Changdi tumbles across the ground like a ragdoll, finally coming to rest face down. The last image etched in his fading vision is Si Chen's expression, cold and devoid of mercy. As Changdi slowly opens his eyes, he finds Si Chen standing over him. With a mix of irritation and curiosity, Si Chen reminds him that he had clearly warned him to stop interfering. "Do you not understand plain human language?" he asks, genuinely perplexed. Changdi, in a dire state, feels the sharp pain of broken ribs and the unsettling numbness in his legs. The aftermath of the blast has made one thing painfully clear. Si Chen is now a rank D. As Changdi begins to apologize, Si Chen swiftly interrupts, pressing a blade toward him. The message is clear. If he utters another word, the consequences will be far worse than a broken ribcage. Changdi meets Su Chen's gaze and realizes there's no bluff in those eyes. This is just a student, yet the bloodlust emanating from him is palpable and terrifying. Si Chen leans in, his voice low and intense. "Burn every word of this into your memory," he commands. He has no patience for those who wish to fade away quietly, but the moment anyone threatens his sister's safety or dares to cross her path, he will make them vanish, one by one, without a moment's hesitation. Changdi trembles at the weight of his words. Si Chen turns and walks away, the soft strains of music lingering in the air. Meanwhile, Si Yun listens to the same melody, feeling an overwhelming sense of quiet loneliness wash over her. She questions her choice to play it, as the haunting notes stir a deep ache within her, threatening to bring her to tears. It has been several days since she last saw her brother, and an unsettling intuition tells her that something has happened, even though she wasn't there with him. When he finally arrives, she turns to him, frustration evident in her voice. "I hate it when you do that, just disappearing without a word." But Si Chen merely smiles and presents her with a box. "It's a gift," he says. Curious, she opens it and gasps as she recognizes the contents. A holographic magic drawing pen. Not just any model, but the latest release from the Drago group. Her eyes widen in disbelief. How on earth did you afford something this expensive? Si Chen reflects on his past life, haunted by the memories of failing to protect her, even her dreams. But this time, he vows that things will be different. He will safeguard everything that belongs to her, and the delinquents who threatened her are already taken care of. Meanwhile, at home, Si Yun tests out the pen and is genuinely astonished by how smoothly it writes. Si Chen feels a quiet thrill at his sister's delight in her cooking. He muses to himself that her noodles are the best in the world. However, Si Yun quickly brings him back to reality, reminding him that they still have rent to pay and that he can't afford to spend money so freely. With a confident smile, Si Chen assures her that the rent for the entire year is already covered. He struck a deal with some friends and managed to earn the money that way. Si Yun couldn't help but think her brother was a terrible liar. The whole situation felt suspicious, and she was a bit annoyed that he was keeping secrets from her. Yet, despite her concerns, it had been ages since she had seen such a genuinely happy smile on his face. She reached out and gently touched his shoulder, reminding him that no matter what happens, he shouldn't push himself too hard. Si Chen offers a quiet nod in response. Meanwhile, at an aquarium, Gong Yan receives troubling news. Kang Di has sustained severe injuries, with 60% of his body fractured. Even with the finest healer at his disposal, recovery will take over a month. Gong Yan hadn't anticipated that Kang Di would pursue Si Chen so recklessly, resulting in such dire consequences. Ling Yu adds that, as a result, Zhang Di is likely to forfeit his graduation ranking for the year. Gong Yan shrugs it off, dismissing the loss of what he calls dead weight with no real ability. Just then, someone approaches. It's Gong Xuan, the director of the office, who brings news about Si Chen. The internal results from the recent evaluation test have been finalized. Si Chen is officially ranked C, making him the only student at the university to surpass the student Gong Yan had expected to lead. Gong Yan's surprise is palpable. Gong Xuan elaborates, revealing that their father has invited the president of the alliance to the upcoming event, and they cannot afford to let anyone overshadow their efforts. If necessary, he will have his niece step in to fill the role. With everything meticulously arranged, it should go off without a hitch. However, Gong Yan interjects, reassuring his uncle that he is worrying too much. While many believe Si Chen gave it his all during the test, Gong Yan remains unfazed. He plans to demonstrate to the entire school just who the strongest student truly is. At 11 p.m. in the male dormitory, Si Chen emerges from the shower, fresh after completing a grueling 100-kilometer training run. With his financial troubles behind him and stability finally within reach, he feels ready to embark on his true ambitions once graduation arrives. His next objective is clear: secure the 1 million champion scholarship during the graduation evaluation and use it to repay his debt to Qingji. That debt must be honored, as he knows he will need Qingji's help desperately in the future. As he lies in bed, he reflects on the fact that there is less than a month left before the evaluation, and he still has several levels to climb. As sleep envelops him, his gluttony system awakens, guiding him toward the Tower of Gluttony. He stands before the familiar door, contemplating the revelations from his test results. His weaker class holds a steady, mid-tier rank of C, while his stronger class, Rakshasa, has yet to fully reveal its potential. Though it boasts an impressive rank of S, he still cannot tap into its full power, leaving its true limits shrouded in mystery. The rankings of both classes remain unresolved. He takes the temporal rift key and uses it on the door to the demon tower. As he steps through the threshold into the swirling violet mist, Chen stands utterly awestruck by the breathtaking sight that awaits him on the other side. Xin finds himself on the plane of the falling star, and the moment he steps inside, an overwhelming force slams him down. A crushing pressure drives him to his knees, and he quickly realizes that the gravitational pull here is a staggering 10G. The door he entered through has already vanished, and it will only reopen once he defeats the boss of this floor. At this moment, he can barely muster 30% of his normal strength. He must adapt quickly, or he won't survive. Just as he prepares, a rank B ghost lion from the Stellar Warrior class lunges toward him. Sai Chen activates his Electric Assassin class, assessing the formidable foe before him. The lion charges with fierce intent. Si Chen deftly sidesteps and thrusts his electric blade into the creature, but a sinking realization hits him. His body feels heavy and sluggish. He needs to finish this quickly. The strike narrowly misses its vital target, and the paralysis fails to take effect. It dawns on him that the intense gravity has robbed him of both speed and precision. The core advantage of the assassin class has all but vanished, yet even in these dire circumstances, the ghost lion moves with unnerving grace. This is the norm for monsters within the demonic tower of purgatory, and it quickly proves its ferocity by sinking its teeth into Shi Chen's arm. In response, Si Chen switches classes, transforming into the Rakshasa of purgatory. Instantly, the numbers shift dramatically. His strength triples and his stamina quadruples. Each class has its defining attributes, and for warriors, it's all about raw power and endurance in close-quarters combat. He seizes the lion and slams it into the ground, harnessing the overwhelming gravity of this environment to its maximum potential. In a realm where gravity is already extreme, a single downward strike delivers an astonishing force, amplified 60 times. The lion thrashes in a panic as Si Chen forces it deeper into the ground, warning it not to even think about resisting him. With determination, he activates the super heavy mode of the Stellar Warrior class. When the chaos subsides, he finds himself flat on his back beside the wreckage, gasping for breath. Amidst the debris, he spots a ghost lion bone and collects it, feeling a surge of power as he levels up. Taking a moment to catch his breath, he reflects on the intricacies of the class system. Each star on a card signifies an attribute multiplier, with more stars translating to a greater boost when switching classes. The Purgatory Demon card boasts more stars than the Lightning Assassin, allowing for a higher potential after the switch. However, even with this advantage, facing a ranked B monster required him to unleash every ounce of his strength. Neither class has yet broken through rank B, and that much is evident. But then, another truth dawns on him. He scans the area and realizes the system never displayed a devourable tag after the kill. The gate to the next floor hasn't appeared either. The weight of this realization crashes over him before he can fully process it. Suddenly, a black hole tears open behind him. Creatures surge forth from the shadows, lurking at the edges of darkness. Sai Chen realizes that the ghost lion he just battled was merely a common foe. The true lord of this floor has yet to reveal itself. Suddenly, the lion sinks its teeth into his shoulder, while others claw at him from all sides. In this harrowing moment, Si Chen finally comprehends the demon of purgatory's warning about the infinite pain that lies behind that door. He must endure. He must push through it all, no matter the cost. Sai Chen jolts awake in the middle of the night, gasping for breath. The pain from his dreams felt all too real, muscles tearing, skin separating from bone. There are no shortcuts to strength. This solitary journey through purgatory has only just begun. Friday, May 20th. The auditorium of the National University of Awakened Ones buzzes with anticipation as the team formation ceremony begins. Faculty members take their places at the panel tables, and whispers ripple through the crowd. High-ranking officials from the Guild Alliance are here to observe. This explains the recent rule changes. Unlike previous years where there were no minimum headcounts or rank requirements, now every team must consist of at least 5 members, including at least 1 member of rank E or higher. A professor taps the microphone, announcing to the students that their rank data has been uploaded to their wristbands. He urges them to check their information and start forming teams as soon as possible. As everyone glances down at their wrists, the ranks and team statuses are clearly displayed. However, Ma Long is the first to voice his concern. Something's not right, he says, his brow furrowing. Sai Chen's rank E designation sent a ripple of shock through the room. Whispers erupted as those around him recalled his previous rank C test. One voice cut through the murmurs, reminding everyone that his demonic heart had been shattered back then. The realization spread like wildfire. No one would want him on their team. With graduation evaluations looming, the stakes were too high for anyone to risk taking on such a liability. Across the auditorium, Gong Yan fixates on his uncle among the faculty. In return, his uncle's gaze is cold, contemplating his ineffectual nephew. He believes it's time for Gong Yan to learn the harsh realities of power and human nature. With a calculated resolve, he plans to impart this lesson personally, beginning by ensuring that Gong Yan's opponent is disqualified from the competition altogether. Half the room is in chaos as students scramble to join Gong Yan's team. They plead desperately, boasting about their 3 years of council experience and vowing they won't slow anyone down. However, Gong Zhong swiftly intervenes, commanding everyone to back off. There's only 1 spot left. After half an hour, the frenzy finally subsides. Teams have formed throughout the room, with pairs locking in and ready to go. Meanwhile, the protagonist group stands off to the side, feeling completely isolated. Ma Long voices the obvious concern. They've been circling the room, yet not a single person has chosen to join them. With only 4 members left, they risk not qualifying for the practical graduation assessment at all. He finds it deeply unsettling that Shi Chen is being regarded as low rank. The registration process demands at least 5 members, with 1 individual needing to be rank E or higher. It feels as though someone is intentionally targeting their dormitory. Shi Chen contemplates this situation. The practical assessment presents a genuine opportunity for everyone to shine, and being part of a high-scoring team is crucial for future prospects. In the demonic lair, during the final assessment, the number of monsters increases with the size of the team, making it more complicated than merely assembling a larger group. Moreover, aside from Gong Yan's team, no one is eager to team up with lower-ranked students. Coincidentally, the 3 weakest rank E students in the entire school all reside in the same dormitory. A voice suddenly calls out to Xiang Zuo, noting that their team is still 1 member short and inviting him to join them for the assessment. Shi Chen quietly realizes the implications of this offer. If things continue down this path, the 3 of them, all ranked E and considered inferior, risk being left behind by everyone else and ultimately losing their chance to compete altogether. Xiang Zuo politely declines the offer, explaining that his dormitory has already formed a team, and he refuses to abandon his roommates. The guys who called him over scoff at his decision, revealing that they only invited him to fill a spot. With his refusal, they are left with just their group. Ma Long raises his voice, emphasizing that nearly everyone has already secured a team, and there are hardly any rank E or above students left without one. Shi Chen casts a sidelong glance, his demonic heart pulsing with intensity. He realizes they are still 1 person short, and no one seems to be arriving. His attention shifts to the professor, who shares the same surname as Gong Yan. The professor's sudden change of such a crucial assessment rule, along with the falsification of his actual rank, feels like a deliberate threat aimed squarely at Gong Yan. Shi Chen has made up his mind. He will participate in this assessment, no matter the obstacles. With the sabotage so blatant, he sees no reason to hold back. There are countless ways to demonstrate strength beyond the confines of the assessment. Ma Long, curious about Shi Chen's intentions, asks what he has in mind. Shi Chen contemplates this for a moment. Schools for the awakened have long upheld a unique tradition designed to sharpen both student skills and their combat instincts. In any setting, a one-on-one challenge known as an X1 can be initiated. It's a bold move, one that directly showcases strength in front of an audience. While most would hesitate in the face of such a challenge, Gong Yan stands firm, refusing to back down. If Shi Chen manages to dismantle him completely, it's certain that anyone aiming for a high score will flock to join his team. Before he can respond, Ling Yu speaks up. She calls out to Shi Chen, asking if his team is still incomplete. With a confident smile, she adds that she would like to participate in this year's practical assessment. Having already achieved rank D back in middle school, she assures him that joining his team would be no issue at all. The entire room turns to look, curiosity piqued. Whispers ripple through the crowd as everyone wonders when Shi Chen and Ling Yu became so close. Gong Chung rises to his feet, his voice sharp with curiosity. What do you mean by that? Across the room, a professor sputters, nearly choking on his drink. Ling Yu strides confidently toward the protagonist, the atmosphere thick with murmurs. Whispers ripple through the crowd, revealing that she is an exchange student shrouded in mystery. Rumors swirl that she is a prodigy hailing from the distant land of Shenhe. Just then, the professor intervenes, attempting to restore order. He questions her motives for helping someone she barely knows, and warns her that, as an exchange student, she lacks the qualifications to participate in the assessment. Moreover, she has never taken a rank test since transferring, leaving no report to confirm her current level. Her involvement would be a clear violation of the rules. Yuan Long steps forward, nodding in agreement. Gong Xuan rises, his surprise evident as he questions why the director is present. The director turns to Ling Yu, explaining that she is here on an exchange program. He then inquires about her involvement in the matter. Meanwhile, Shi Chen quietly ponders the situation, noting that the director's class is listed as warrior. Since when does he possess the ability to teleport? Yuan Long insists that allowing her participation would undermine fairness, emphasizing that the assessment holds value only when true strength is measured. Meanwhile, the protagonist activates his demonic heart, attempting to gauge their abilities, but finds himself unable to determine either of their ranks. Gong Xuang chimes in, affirming that the school's reputation hinges on strict adherence to its rules. Yuan Long shifts his argument, asserting that the university's purpose is to nurture high-level, awakened individuals and provide them with the best possible stage for their talents. He emphasizes that the assessment is a decades-long tradition, marking one of the most pivotal moments in a student's life. If someone were to lose that opportunity for dubious reasons, he demands to know how the school plans to take responsibility for such a grave injustice. Gong Xian quickly assesses the situation. This old man is clearly trying to put him on the spot, and he senses that Yuan Long has been quietly orchestrating events from the shadows, despite his usual indifference to trivial matters. The fact that he and Ling Yu have staged this confrontation today must be due to that kid. Engaging in a direct fight with Yuan Long at this moment would be unwise. Guan Xuan contemplates the situation. His uncle's influence can only go so far. The strongest students have already formed their teams, leaving Shi Chen with 3 of the weakest students in the school. Defeating them should be a straightforward task. Gong Xuan then declares that the director is correct, framing it as an oversight by the career office for failing to recognize that the current format could leave some students without a viable path to participate. He then announces that teams with fewer than 5 members or lacking a rank E superior are now eligible to register. With that, the dormitory officially forms their team, and a wave of celebration sweeps through the room. Yuan Long observes quietly, noting that Ling Yu's interest in Shi Chen runs deeper than he had expected. He lays it out clearly. On one side stands the strongest team in the school's history, led by Gong Yuan. Meanwhile, Shi Chen and his 3 roommates, who hold the lowest ranks in the building, are deep in discussion. Yuan Long expresses his genuine curiosity about which lair they will choose and what score they might achieve. With the team formation now complete, each captain is ready to select their demonic lair. Suddenly, a notification pings on Yuan Long's tablet, catching him off guard with its swift arrival. He checks the submission and realizes it was Sai Chen's team that just selected a particularly challenging lair. Sai Chen's friends are in a frenzy, urging him to cancel it immediately. "Do you have any idea what you've just signed us up for?" they exclaim, their anxiety palpable. Chapter 14 begins by providing essential context about the graduation practical exam. For the first time, students will venture into a genuine demon lair as a team, earning points by defeating both lords and common monsters within. The challenge intensifies with the lair's rank, which also affects the score multiplier. A rank F lair has a maximum score of 75 points, while a rank E lair can potentially elevate a team score to 100. The team that scores the highest will earn offers from the prestigious Imperial Guild, while the MVP of the team receives an even more enticing reward, a management position within the guild, along with a prize of 1 million. The all-time school record stands at 90 points, a benchmark set years ago by the school's most celebrated genius, who now leads the Emperor's Squadron. That record was established in a rank E layer, a feat already deemed brutally challenging. Most believe Gong Yan's team is the frontrunner to challenge it. However, someone suddenly points out that another team has already secured their lair selection, and they did so remarkably quickly. It's Sai Chen's team, and they've opted for a rank D lair. The room falls silent for a moment before erupting into a flurry of excitement. Everyone turns to look, their expressions a mix of disbelief and suspicion that he must have pressed the wrong button. No graduating student has ever completed a rank D layer. Ma Long is the first to voice the unspoken thought on everyone's mind. Si Chen has lost his mind and clearly has no idea what he just signed them up for. Shang Zhou crouches down, muttering to himself that their teammate is a lunatic. He quietly wonders if there's any way to escape this team arrangement. Ma Long, not holding back, directly challenges Sai Chen, asking if he truly considered the implications of this decision, especially since they are dealing with rank D. Sai Chen confidently replies that he has thought it through. Just then, Gong Yan's group echoes the same concerns, making the exact call. Every member of the team officially confirms their selection for rank D, and the school erupts in cheers once more. It's unprecedented for two teams to achieve rank D in the same year. Amidst the excitement, a voice from the crowd declares that this year is bound to be extraordinary. However, not everyone shares the enthusiasm. A girl steps forward, cutting through the jubilation, and admonishes the crowd, urging them to stop pretending to be big fish when they are anything but. She suggests they should seriously evaluate their own strengths before putting on a show, as this seems more like a bid for attention than a genuine plan. A nearby guy chimes in, noting that Si Chen's teammates will never support this idea, especially since he's barely settled into the school before already starting to unravel. Ma Long watches Si Chen in silence, his expression unreadable. He observes the determination etched on Si Chen's face, the conviction in his expression, and the palpable intensity radiating from him. Ma Long reflects on how this newfound fervor in Si Chen is a recent development. Throughout their time at school, it was always Sai Chen whom Ma Long had watched over. He sits in silence for a few more seconds, weighing his options, then makes his decision. 4 years together, he declares, and I'm not stopping now. I'm in. Shang Zhu nods in agreement, adding that they're already in deep trouble, so they might as well dive in and see what a rank D layer is really like. His brother, feeling the pressure of being the last to agree, gets flustered and reminds them that he's supposed to be the head of their dorm. He nods in agreement, declaring that whether this is madness or not, they will face it together. With that, every member of Si Chen's team is officially confirmed. Sai Chen turns to his friends, offering a heartfelt apology and candidly admitting that he chose rank D because he wants to be the MVP. This revelation catches Gong Yan's attention. Sai Chen suggests they should aim for the highest score together, but Gong Yan quickly interrupts, asserting that the MVP title is rightfully his. Sai Chen turns away, while Gong Yan boldly declares that there's only room for one strongest person at this school. Ling Yu observes the exchange, her surprise evident as she notes that this is the first time she has ever seen that particular expression on Gong Yan's face. Any rivalry that once lingered between them is now laid bare. Yuan Long notes that youth often embraces the unknown with fearless enthusiasm. In contrast, the girl from earlier is far more pragmatic. She bluntly states that even though Sai Chen holds a rank C, it's simply impossible for him to carry an entire team through a rank D layer on his own. Indeed, the rank D multiplier stands at 3, allowing for a theoretical maximum of 150 points. However, the difficulty level is significantly higher than that of rank E. Given the current capabilities of Si Chen's team, pursuing this option would be unwise. Yuan Long recognizes that there are only about 2 weeks remaining before the practical exam commences. There's little time for real growth, yet she expresses her hope that when the moment arrives, Si Chen and his team will at least be able to hold their own. With just 17 days left before the evaluation begins, Ma Long observes the team as they engage in activities starkly different from their peers. While other students are busy honing their elemental powers and running virtual monster simulations, Sai Chen's group seems to be focused on something resembling pure physical conditioning. Ma Long raises an eyebrow, questioning why Sai Chen is so concerned, reminding him that their graduation exam isn't a triathlon. Sai Chen takes a moment to explain his perspective. He believes that no amount of grinding elemental power or running virtual combat drills will truly prepare them. All of that is merely controlled practice. When they step into an unknown demon lair and confront a monster they've never encountered before, it won't be theory that determines their fate. It will be the raw, unfiltered fear that tests their resolve. It won't be about pre-planned combos. It will be instinct that guides them. The stamina, explosive power, and reaction speed they are honing right now are what sharpen that instinct. While the school simulations provide some experience, nothing compares to facing a real demon lair. Unfortunately, ordinary people like them lack access to genuine training environments. Sai Chen presses on. Those who enjoy every advantage and privilege have always been born into it. They do everything in their power to widen the chasm between themselves and others, determined to maintain their dominance over those they have looked down upon since birth. Some dreams remain forever out of reach, no matter how fiercely one pursues them throughout a lifetime. Zhang Zhou wonders aloud what people like them, those with nothing, are supposed to do in their situation. Sai Chen's response is straightforward. They must walk into the Imperial Guild with the highest exam score and leap over every class barrier that stands in their way. The graduation is their one true opportunity to surpass everyone else. Now is his chance to prove himself. Si Chen turns to his teammates, determination shining in his eyes. I'll do whatever it takes to keep the promise I made to you all. We're going to win. With just 15 days left inside the Dream Magic Tower, he charges headfirst at a ferocious lion beast. It strikes him squarely in the mouth, sending him sprawling back from its powerful claws, but he refuses to back down. 10 days in, the group continues their relentless drills without a moment's rest. Gradually, Si Chen begins to take down the phantom lions one by one, while Gong Yan slices through the monsters with precision using his katana. As they reach the 5-day mark, their focus shifts to intense physical conditioning, and soon the days blur together in a relentless whirlwind of training. 3 days passed, then 2, as Si Chen relentlessly fought against the beasts, finally breaking through to level 16. With just 1 day left until the practical graduation assessment, he gathered the group and emphasized that the real battle was just beginning. On the day of the assessment, a drone hovered above, addressing all the participants. Sai Chen tightens his gloves as the group takes their positions. The drone introduces itself with a formal tone, instructing everyone to check their wristbands and ensure their equipment is securely fastened. With a mechanical voice, it announces that the evaluation has officially begun. Meanwhile, at the National University of Awakened, near the administrative building, Yuan Long comments that it has been some time since he last saw Director Yuan. Gong Lin offers an apology, but the students watching nearby are already in awe, stunned by his mere presence. They recognize him as one of the co-founders of the Imperial Guild, a figure of significant influence. However, the real mystery lies in the identity of the person still inside the car. Whoever it is has managed to draw both a guild founder and the university director out to personally welcome them, leaving everyone buzzing with curiosity. The figure steps forward, revealing striking red hair. It's Carl Cavendish, the vice president of the World Guild Alliance. The crowd is in disbelief. Many have lived their entire lives without ever encountering someone of his stature. Suddenly, everything clicks into place. The administrative building's unusual emptiness makes sense now. The Guild Alliance stands as the most powerful organization in the world, and receiving a recruitment offer from them can alter the course of a person's life in an instant. Gong Lin's uncle addresses the group, informing them that 184 students are set to participate in the final evaluation, organized into 28 teams. Of these, 23 teams have chosen Rank F demonic lairs, 3 opted for Rank E, and surprisingly, 2 teams selected Rank D. Sigrid, the Secretary General of the Guild Alliance, raises an eyebrow at the latter choice. Rank D lairs are deemed perilous, even for fully equipped squads, and she is keen to ensure that the students have been adequately briefed on the associated risks. The director reassures everyone that they have been transparent from the beginning, then presents the stark reality. Most of these students find themselves at the lower end of Rank E, struggling even against ordinary Rank F monsters. Facing a Lord-class monster is a daunting challenge for them, even within a Rank F lair, as a Lord's power far surpasses that of typical monsters at the same rank. In a Rank E lair, the stakes rise dramatically. Each ordinary Rank E monster possesses a strength comparable to that of a Rank F Lord, making the prospect of clearing a Rank E lair nearly impossible for most students. Sigrid raises a crucial question. Are there any safety measures in place for students who find themselves in real danger? The professor responds with confidence, assuring her that the students are their most valuable asset. Armed personnel from the Imperial Guild stand guard outside every demonic lair, vigilantly monitoring the surroundings. They are ready to intervene at the first sign of danger. Each student is equipped with a wristband that features a built-in teleportation function. With a simple command, they can be instantly transported out of the lair. In fact, one student has already activated the device and withdrawn from the evaluation. Sigrid takes all of this in, but her thoughts return to the two teams that opted for rank D lairs. She notes that the school is truly brimming with talent and expresses her genuine excitement to see how they will perform. Meanwhile, the professor harbors a similar curiosity, albeit with a much different expectation. He gives the students a few moments before they come sprinting back out. Seichen's group reaches their destination, the lair at the Cloud Forest summit. Suddenly, a phantom bat monkey swoops down from above. Seichen quickly recognizes it as a cloud-type magical beast, known for its coordinated aerial assaults and rapid diving strikes. "Stay sharp, everyone," he warns, his voice steady and commanding. The bat monkeys launch their attack with ferocious speed, diving straight at the group. Seichen shouts a warning to his teammates just in time. Xiang Zhuo narrowly dodges one of the strikes, and the rest of the team quickly follows his lead. They can hardly comprehend that they've just survived a rank D assault when suddenly one of the bat monkeys plummets to the ground. Xiang Zhuo stares in disbelief as he calls out to Seichen in an astonishing display of skill. Seichen has single-handedly taken down 3 rank D monsters in the blink of an eye. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Seichen quickly assesses their options. A direct confrontation with these creatures is out of the question. He urges the group to stay close and stick together, assuring them he will handle the rest. With that, he propels himself forward in a flash of lightning. The others scramble to evade the encroaching monsters, but it's no easy feat. Shang Zhuo takes a brutal blow, crashing into a tree, his back slamming against the rough bark. In that fleeting moment, a thought slices through the chaos. All those hours spent honing his reaction speed and explosive movement were meant for survival, not for facing a nightmare like this. He had always been the one in charge back in the dormitory, yet now he found himself being carried through a crisis by someone else. The bat monkeys relentlessly pressed toward the protagonist, but Seichen sliced through them with an unsettling ease. As Shang Zhuo watched the scene unfold, he couldn't help but confront a truth within himself. When Ma Long had claimed that Seichen was strong, Zhuo had dismissed it without a second thought. But witnessing it firsthand is an entirely different experience. This man is far too skilled to be just another undergraduate. He carries himself like someone who has already faced the trials of real combat. Zhuo's trust in him grows rapidly, perhaps too rapidly, and before he knows it, he finds himself lagging behind. Shang Zhuo shouts a warning as another bat creature approaches from behind, but Zhuo is already in motion. Channeling his fire ability, he grabs one of the monsters by the leg and incinerates it with all his strength. As the flames engulf the creature, he turns to his friends and states firmly that they cannot afford to become dead weight on Seichen's back. This evaluation isn't solely about Seichen proving himself. It's also a chance for them to shine. Shang Zhuo immediately grasps this sentiment. He nods in agreement with his brother and activates the Flower Nail Prison enchantment, ensnaring one of the bat monkeys in a tangle of vines. The creature strains against its restraints and unexpectedly breaks free, catching Zhuo off guard. Without hesitation, Ma Long steps in, casting the Freezing Breeze Cloud enchantment. "I've slowed it down," he announces, urging the others to move in unison. Yuo, determined not to let the beast escape, echoes his resolve. The 3 of them unite their powers against the bat monkey and call out for Xiang Zhuo to take his shot. Zhuo winds up declaring, "This is it." He unleashes a converging explosive flame projectile, a technique worthy of a core mage. The blast strikes true, and the bat monkey lets out a piercing scream, its face charred, yet it remains on its feet. Undeterred, Zhuo fires again and again, realizing just how absurdly resilient this creature is. He continues to strike, wearing down the defenses until Yuo warns that they can't hold out much longer. Ma Long confirms they've reached their limit. Steeling himself, Zhuo declares that he's going all in. He names his attack a full power strike, a converging explosive flame projectile unleashed at maximum output, and sends it soaring. The evaluation drone announces the successful kill. The bat monkey is down. The group erupts in celebration. They actually did it. They took down a rank D magical beast. Shen looks genuinely surprised, while the others can hardly believe what they've just accomplished. Zhuo, however, plays it cool, casually remarking that it wasn't so bad after all. The protagonist praises their team for a job well done, while the drone confirms that every common monster in the demonic lair has been eliminated. Meanwhile, in the observation room, the executive director is visibly shaken, struggling to comprehend how a group of allies with no real combat experience managed to defeat a monster ranked above their own level. Gong Yan's father remains silent, his expression inscrutable. However, Carl Cavendish breaks the tension, praising the young man's exceptional performance. He adds that this particular young man strongly reminds him of an old acquaintance. Gong Lin is taken aback when someone inquires if that name is Seichen, remarking that they will remember it. Standing beside him is his uncle, the director, who swiftly redirects the group's focus to the opposing team. They've opted for a rank D den and have already advanced to the intermediate section. Meanwhile, Gong Yan's group continues to forge ahead. Sigrid observes their impeccable coordination, reminiscent of a professional guild squad. Carl chimes in, noting that this year's graduating class is truly exceptional. Gong Xuan observes intently, contemplating that the battle has only just begun. The real spectacle is yet to unfold as the miasma mushrooms start to advance. A girl strums her guitar, invoking the lament of decline, summoning the group to gather. Meanwhile, another member prepares his own skill, Stellar Attraction, and calls out to his captain. Gong Yan unsheaths his katana and unleashes the blazing fire void cut, effortlessly slicing through the monsters in a single, fluid motion before sheathing his blade once more. The rest of the group can't help but notice how these creatures in the graduation mirror those from their training, easy pickings. They speculate that the Gong family orchestrated this evaluation, and with the right backing, everything becomes almost absurdly easy. At this rate, first place is already within their grasp. Back in the protagonist's dungeon, Si Chen shields his face as the group ascends to the pinnacle of the demonic lair, only to confront a rank D ghost monkey. Ma Long muses if this could be the final boss, while Shangzhua quips that a single slap from that creature could easily take him out 10 times over. The monkey suddenly turns its gaze toward the group. Ma Long urges it to hold on, assuring everyone that he's got it in his sights. That seems to be all the invitation the monkey needs as it charges straight at them. Without hesitation, Si Chen leaps forward, delivering a powerful electric kick that connects squarely with the monkey's face, sending the creature hurtling through the air. He charges forward without hesitation, delivering a decisive blow to the ghost monkey's head, cleaving it in two with his electric blade. Ma Long comments, somewhat surprised, that it went down surprisingly easily. The group gathers the ice monkey pelt, but Si Chen can't help but reflect on the experience gained from defeating the lord of a rank D. Demonic Dennet was disappointingly minimal, and the loot left much to be desired. Before anyone has a chance to ponder the implications, the rest of the group suddenly spots something and erupts with excitement. Shang Zuo urges everyone to move quickly, revealing that a massive creature has hidden a stash of magic crystals inside a hollow tree. Judging by their size, these crystals are at least of intermediate grade. If they manage to collect all of them and sell them, they could secure their future for life. But Si Chen urges them to hold on. The instant someone makes contact with one of the crystals, a surge of energy sweeps through the area, enveloping the entire group, including Sedan. It's a trap and ice explosion bomb. The drone freezes solid almost immediately, and the squad's signal goes dark. Gangshan reflects to himself that everything unfolded just as he had anticipated. High-level monsters possess intelligence, and as the evaluation nears its conclusion, the students find themselves in a desperate flight. Carl voices his concern, emphasizing that their lives could be in jeopardy. Gongshan nods in agreement, insisting that their priority must be rescue, and it's time to deploy the guild squad for intervention. However, Yuan Long urges them to wait just a bit longer. The monitoring bracelets are tracking the students' physical conditions in real time, and for now, all readings indicate that they are stable. There's no sign that any of them are considering giving up. Yuan Long firmly believes that the right to choose must remain with the examinees. Meanwhile, back inside the den, Ma Long sneezes and grumbles about the cold. He reflects that his cloud-type class offers him some resistance to freezing temperatures. Otherwise, he would have been completely overwhelmed. Suddenly, a strange voice erupts into laughter echoing through the darkness. Ma Long squints into the shadows, questioning whether this chilling sound belongs to the true master of this demonic lair. As he flips through his monster encyclopedia, he identifies the foe before him, a cloud-type mage skeleton king. This rank C boss specializes in ice and snow manipulation, and it seems he has already laid a trap, patiently waiting for his next victim. He takes off running, fully aware that a rare boss like this is beyond his solo capabilities. Meanwhile, Chen is frozen in place, and Ma Long knows he must act quickly. Suddenly, a spike pierces through his leg, sending him crashing to the ground, groaning in agony. Above him, the Skeleton King throws his head back in laughter, raising his palm for another strike. Just then, the bracelet registers the injury on his lower leg and prompts him with a question. Does he want to withdraw from the evaluation? Ma Long shakes his head, resolute. His only thought is to defrost Si Chen as quickly as possible. He activates his purification effect, directing it toward Si Chen, believing that if he can revive him, they still have a fighting chance. But just as the purification begins to take shape, a sudden blow strikes his arm. He crashes to the ground, and with him, the purification dissipates into nothingness. The Skeleton King continues to laugh maniacally, unleashing a relentless barrage of ice bone spikes. The system chimes in once more, warning that his heart rate has reached a perilous level and that a spike has pierced his right arm. It offers him the option to quit yet again. For a brief moment, Ma Long actually contemplates it. He reflects on how, in the past, whenever challenges arose and fear began to seep in, he would always run away. That very pattern is the reason he has always been left behind. Yet, they risk their lives to reach this moment. This is finally a genuine opportunity to change his fate. He refuses to back down. With unwavering determination, he pours everything he has into Si-Chen, channeling the essence of transcendence and depleting all his remaining mana in one desperate surge. The Skeleton King relentlessly fires spikes, but the ice encasing Si-Chen begins to crack and splinter. As the spikes close in on his arms, Ma Long screams for him to wake up. Suddenly, electricity erupts from Si-Chen's body. He activates his lightning god form and surges forward with newfound power. The Skeleton King hardly has a moment to comprehend the situation before Si-Chen yanks him from his position and slams him against a rock. Ma Long exhales softly, realizing that Si-Chen ultimately freed himself. Turning to Ma Long, Si-Chen expresses his gratitude and inquires about the severity of his injuries. Ma Long responds, detailing their predicament. They are up against an A-rank Sea Cloud-type lord, an immensely powerful foe. He warns that they must never allow it to freeze them again. His eyes widen in shock as a massive ice explosion bomb hurtles toward them. Ma Long can hardly believe what he's witnessing and openly questions how they are supposed to dodge something so colossal. The Skeleton King lets out a chilling laugh. In an instant, the explosion detonates, engulfing the entire area in a blinding wave of snow. The Skeleton King cackles at his triumph, but his laughter abruptly halts. A blue energy radiates from ahead, revealing Chen, who has transformed into his funeral Flame King class. His icy demeanor makes him utterly impervious to the chilling atmosphere. The Skeleton King stands frozen in shock, while Ma Long gazes on in disbelief, struggling to comprehend the astonishing sight before him. Si-Chen, the lightning assassin, mutters in disbelief, grappling with the reality of his situation. This revelation would mark him as a 1 in 10,000 phenomenon, a dual-class user. Acknowledging his earlier miscalculation that had endangered all three of them, he resolves to switch classes now. With determination in his voice, he vows that such a mistake will never happen again. As the class transition concludes, Chen emerges, transformed into the formidable Purgatory Rakshasa demon. With a fierce determination, he declares, "I'm ending this right now." Ma Long stands frozen, utterly speechless once again. Typically, an awakened individual can unlock only a single class, but there are extraordinarily rare exceptions, about 1 in 10 million, where someone possesses two. These individuals are known as dual-class users, and fewer than 10 exist across the entire world. The moment such a talent is discovered, every major guild sends recruiters scrambling. But Si-Chen is different. He possesses not one, but 3 classes. Each one that Ma Long has learned about feels terrifyingly powerful. As Si-Chen unleashes his potential, his vigor and strength reach their peak, radiating an aura of demonic energy that sends shivers down Ma Long's spine. He propels himself forward, closing the distance to the monster in an instant. Ma Long recalls the overwhelming monstrous pressure the creature had exuded just moments ago. Yet now, before Si-Chen's blade, it dissipates entirely. With a surge of triple gravity enhancement, the protagonist slices through the monster, shattering it into fragments that collapse to the ground. Chen levels up to 17 and gains the skill Icebone Skier. Ma Long comments, "Just as I expected, a rank C boss taken down in a single strike." Shen glances at the other two, still frozen solid, and wonders if Ma Long has enough energy left to free them. Suddenly recalling their plight, Ma Long breaks into a sprint, urging them, "Hang on!" The protagonist designates the fallen monster as consumable and activates his Glutton ability, absorbing its full energy. As the process concludes, he closes his fist, feeling the surge within him. This new class bestows heightened vigor and elemental power, and Si-Chen realizes with astonishment that this is the first time he has ever devoured a class outside of a dream. He turns to the side, realizing that the camera drone was frozen in the ice explosion, meaning the feed likely wasn't broadcast to the public. He still has plenty of time to secure a perfect score. Suddenly, a screen materializes before him, revealing that he has earned an additional attribute star for his Lightning Assassin class to distribute. Shen is genuinely taken aback by this unexpected gain. Meanwhile, on Gong Yan's side of the dungeon, a colossal carnivorous flower boss relentlessly assaults the group. One of the students stands firm, shouting that this is the raw power of a rank D boss. He urges everyone to dig deep and push harder, warning that they are on the brink of losing control of the battle. One student remarks on the monster's astonishing defense, noting that their attacks barely seem to make a dent. Even arrows are nearly ineffective. Suddenly, the creature retaliates, lashing out with its formidable vines. The archer confesses that in all their prior training, they had never encountered a monster at full strength. Panic begins to set in as the group scrambles for a solution. A fellow student urges everyone to trust their president and checks in on his side, pondering whether they have gathered enough power. Two enchanters concentrate, channeling their strength directly into Gong Yan. With a determined focus, Gong Yan declares that it is sufficient. In an explosive burst of energy, he leaps forward, driving his blade cleanly through the plant. He gives the order to burn it right now. The detonation is instantaneous. His blazing blade ignites on contact, creating a powerful explosion. The team erupts in celebration, cheering that their president is every bit as strong as they had believed. The drone announces that Gong Yan's team has successfully cleared the dungeon, achieving a remarkable completion time of 35 minutes. The group is astonished to discover they completed the challenge in under an hour, earning a multiplier of 3 and bringing their final score to a remarkable 150 points. Eager to see the overall results, they head out. As they make their way down the hallway, Gong Jung remarks that even an F-rank demon lair, the lowest tier, typically takes at least an hour to clear. This means that anyone exiting so soon, aside from their own group, must have given up halfway through. Sure enough, a traumatized boy stumbles forward, surrendering on the spot and pleading not to be hit, even though no one is near him. Right behind him, a girl exclaims that the whole experience was far too terrifying, declaring those monsters an absolute nightmare. Meanwhile, Gong Zhong catches sight of a group huddled in the corner and can't help but break into a grin. He suspects that Si Chen's team must have also left early, so he immediately calls Si Chen out, demanding to know how someone so full of himself could fail to complete the evaluation. However, Gong Yan interrupts him, insisting he return to the group because the vice president has arrived and they need to pay their respects. Carl strides in, clapping enthusiastically as he exclaims that what he just witnessed was absolutely incredible. He describes it as an absurd performance and begins making his way toward them. Gong Chung leans in and whispers, "That's the man at the very top of the world, and he's coming straight for us." Meanwhile, Gong Yan extends his hand in greeting, but Carl walks right past him, ignoring the gesture entirely. He approaches Si Chen and praises him for his remarkable feat. Clearing a ranked demon lair in just 21 minutes is an achievement that even guild squads would find daunting. It's simply astonishing. Gong Zhong, nearly beside himself, exclaims in disbelief that they managed to clear a ranked demon lair in such a short time. Meanwhile, Si Chen instantly recognizes the man before him. This is Carl Cavendish, the vice president of the World Guild Alliance, and currently regarded as the second strongest person alive. He quietly ponders what someone of his stature is doing in this place. Turning his attention to Gong Yan, he acknowledges the young master of the Gong family, commending him for his impressive performance in leading a team to clear a rank D lair at such a young age. President Gong Lin clearly knows how to raise his son. He adds with a hint of admiration, "The founder of the Gong family offers a polite thank you, but the glance he casts at his son is anything but warm." Sensing the tension, Carl decides to wrap things up, noting that it's getting late and he should be on his way. Before departing, he informs the director that he feels incredibly fortunate this time, as he has discovered twin Star's rare talents that only appear once in a blue moon. As Gong Xuan steps forward to announce the official results, he reveals that both teams have achieved a perfect score. With a triumphant smile, he declares them tied for first place, ensuring that every member of both groups will be welcomed into the Imperial Guild. The room bursts into celebration, but Gong Yan remains expressionless, his demeanor icy. The director announces that both captains will assume management roles within the Imperial Guild's core, and they will share the MVP prize of 1 million. However, both captains have promised Qingji 1 million within a month, leaving him at a disadvantage. He realizes he needs to come up with a plan. Just then, Gong Yan speaks up. "There can only be one first place," he declares, "and I only need one." He challenges the protagonist to a one-on-one match as a tiebreaker. The room falls silent, tension hanging in the air. Even Carl turns to watch, intrigued. Gongxuan quickly retorts, insisting that the evaluation is finished and that tying for first place is the best outcome they could hope for. However, the protagonist interjects, presenting his own terms. If he wins, the entire 1 million goes to him. Gongxuan nearly chokes at the audacity of the proposal. Without missing a beat, Gong Yan agrees, telling the protagonist that if he can defeat him, he can claim it all. Carl observes with keen interest, noting that this spectacle is far from over. Shi Chen then poses a straightforward question. How do they plan to resolve this? Taking a seat beside Qingji, he dives right into the matter at hand. Qingji begins by acknowledging that when he first assessed Shi Chen, he believed the young man was strong enough to claim first place. He never imagined he would break the record and achieve a perfect score. Now, Shi Chen is making headlines everywhere. As far as Qingji is concerned, that million was money well spent. He tells Shi Chen to forget about repaying it and to consider it an investment. However, Shi Chen shakes his head. He came here today with two important things to say. His first priority is to repay every coin he owes, but he needs just one more week. The graduation evaluation ended in a tie for first place, leaving him with 500,000 less than he had anticipated. To settle the score, an additional individual match has been scheduled between him and the other co-champion, set to take place in a wild demon lair just outside the school grounds in 7 days. Once he wins that match, he will secure the rest of the money. As a gesture of goodwill for the extra week, he offers to hand over any materials he collects inside the demon lair, suggesting that it could serve as interest on the debt. Qingji observes him, contemplating how this young man shows no fear at all when facing the dangers of a wild demon lair. His mind is consumed by the debt and the relentless interest payments. Qingji can't help but think that Shi Chen is truly something else. Then, Shi Chen leans in, revealing that there's a second matter, something even more significant. He whispers something just out of earshot, but the impact is undeniable. Qingji rises from his chair, clearly shaken. Meanwhile, far from the bustling city, at Kingshui Secondary School in Kanchang County, Ji Yun stretches and exhales a satisfied sigh. She has just completed her last exam, and summer break has finally begun. As she pulls out her phone, a sudden realization strikes her. Today is her older brother Shi Chen's graduation evaluation. The memory washes over her like a wave. 4 years ago, Shi Chen was filled with joy when his elemental potential was discovered, earning him a spot at the National University of Awakened. Xian encouraged him, assuring him that he would follow in their parents' footsteps and become awakened himself. Shi Chen eagerly agreed, envisioning a future where he could join a powerful guild, earn a substantial income, and perhaps even uncover the truth about their mother and father. Xian once told him he was destined to become an incredible awakened. That was 4 years ago. Now, as Shi Chen enters his final year, he still hasn't awakened. Xian reflects on how hard Shi Chen worked, outpacing everyone else at the university. Yet he remains the only one who hasn't achieved that breakthrough. Watching his peers ascend while he remains grounded must have been heartbreaking, but he never let it show. Her friend Zhu Tong taps her on the shoulder, curiosity sparkling in her eyes. "Did you hear the news?" she asks eagerly. The National University of Awaken has just unveiled 2 extraordinary geniuses, both of whom achieved perfect scores on their evaluations. To top it off, the vice president of the Guild Alliance personally came to commend them. "It's all over the news." Zhu Tong glances at her, a teasing smile on her lips. "Isn't your brother studying there?" Before Xian can fully grasp the situation, a warm voice interrupts her, greeting her by name. The speaker mentions they've reserved the top floor of the Zhaifeng building and inquires if she is free at 8 that evening. Xian doesn't respond. Instead, she turns and bolts away. Zhu Tong calls after her, puzzled by her sudden sprint. As she runs, Ziyun reflects on the students at her university who are achieving perfect scores and making headlines, while her older brother struggles to awaken his potential. The thought weighs heavily on her heart, too painful to bear. Determined to lift his spirits, she decides to head home and cook something special. Upon arriving at their rented apartment, she finds the table laden with a feast. Ji Chen walks in, his eyes widening as he takes in the delicious aroma. "When did you have time to prepare all of this?" he asks, genuinely impressed. The television hums softly in the background as a news report breaks the morning's big story. The university has completed its graduation evaluations. The anchor reveals that the event was graced by the vice president of the World Guild. In a surprising twist, the evaluation has produced dual champions. Vice President Carl took a moment to personally commend the results before the cameras, highlighting one standout student who achieved a flawless score. The student in question is Ji-Chin. Ji-Yoon spins around, utterly stunned, struggling to comprehend what she just heard. Meanwhile, across town in a different home, Gong Lin grips a vine tightly, his voice laced with cold fury. He had meticulously set the stage and gathered the audience, yet somehow his son managed to ruin everything. The boy faced defeat, losing to a newcomer whom Gong Lin deemed unworthy of recognition. With a stern expression, he informed his son that his autonomy was no longer his own. Gong Lin had already scheduled an additional practical match for the following week. Since his son couldn't manage this on his own, Gong Lin would take charge, no matter the cost. First place would belong to the Gong family. Back on the broadcast, President Carl is singing the praises of our MC, calling his performance astonishingly impressive. He expresses hope that the country can nurture more talents of that caliber. Si-Yun can hardly believe her ears. She wonders aloud if they truly just mentioned her brother on national television. The protagonist turns to her, seeking answers, but before she can respond, her spoon clatters to the floor. Just then, a crack of thunder rumbles outside, as if the universe itself is emphasizing the weight of the moment. She sits in stunned silence, grappling with the revelation. Her older brother, the one she'd always considered a bit of a fool, not only led his team to a flawless victory, but also received a personal commendation from the vice president of the Guild Alliance. She raises her hand to cover her mouth in disbelief. The boy she once dismissed has transformed into someone truly remarkable. The scene shifts to the night of the practical evaluation. Set in a cozy restaurant, Carl sits across from a woman named Yuan, savoring every moment. He remarks with delight that the Wagyu from this eastern country is the finest he has ever tasted. He inquires about how things have been on her end. Yuan cuts to the chase, sliding him a stack of compiled reports from the past year. She informs him that the Glutton has left no trace during that time, and he may already be aware of this. However, there's one more matter she wishes to discuss. She recently flagged a suspicious individual who made contact with the vice president not long ago. The rapid growth of that young man is, in her eyes, simply too extraordinary to be explained by any conventional logic. The scene shifts to the interior of the Magic Tower. Si-Chin has spent over half a month on the first floor, and during that time, he has nearly eradicated every magic beast that lurks within. He is now fully adapted to fighting under 10 times the force of gravity. Since the conclusion of the graduation battle, his Lightning Assassin class has earned its first star. Consistently using this class is what propels its strength forward. This means that none of his 4 current classes have reached their full potential yet. He invested the star he earned into the attribute that is crucial for an assassin, speed. By now, he should be operating at roughly the level of a rank A assassin. Yet, despite his progress, he finds himself completely surrounded by ghost lions, with a Lion King looming over them from a distance. Ji-Chen still hasn't managed to land a single hit on the floor boss. The lions close in around him, their eyes glinting with predatory intent. In a moment of desperation, he activates his God of Lightning ability and charges straight toward the floor chief. But the Lion King's power is unlike anything he's faced before. Every time an opening presents itself, the boss vanishes in an instant, only to reappear beside the lioness positioned farthest from Si-Chin. The pack shifts its formation seamlessly, maintaining an unbreakable structure. 2 lionesses are always designated to confront him directly, while the Lion King keeps a safe distance, observing like a strategist. He never makes a move without careful consideration. Si-Chin can't help but ponder what class of creature this truly is. Suddenly, a lioness lunges at him. He channels his lightning ability and unleashes it directly into her mouth, but she vanishes the instant the attack connects. Each time he tries to finish off one of the lionesses, she disappears, only to reappear beside the Lion King. The moment he hesitates, another lioness charges in, tempting him to strike. He readies 2 abilities at once, but the bosses evade him yet again. They maintain their formation with unwavering discipline, working together in perfect harmony. Relentlessly, they attack, blinking in and out, cycling through the same pattern repeatedly, wearing him down in a grueling war of attrition. Si-Chin fights relentlessly, but clarity begins to dawn on him. He shifts his gaze to the floor chief and realizes that this creature is merely toying with him. Suddenly, a revelation strikes. With newfound determination, he leaps as high as he can, questioning why he has been trying to win this battle on the enemy's terms. Engaging in a head-on speed battle, he decides to switch classes. If they won't confront him directly, why not tackle the situation from an entirely different perspective? He summons a mage class, ready to face them on his own terms. As the class switch completes, Si-Chin, now at level 27, embraces the formidable power of the Skeleton King. Chi-Chen unleashes a barrage of stakes into the advancing monster horde, sending the lions scattering in retreat. But he doesn't give them a moment to regroup. Instead, he charges forward, closing in on one of the beasts. His instincts are razor sharp. Understanding that a mage thrives at range through sustained damage and crowd control, he maintains the pressure, expertly guiding the lions into the positions he desires. In an instant, he vanishes, stepping through a portal and reappearing right behind a lioness, catching her completely off guard. But the true trap is already in motion. The attack he had set up earlier is still advancing, and the moment the Lion King is drawn into its range, there will be no escape. Startled, the Lion King looks up just as Sishin summons his massive ice explosion bomb. The blast strikes the ground with immense force, illuminating the entire area in a blinding flash. Lions and other creatures alike are left frozen in the aftermath. Chi-Chen shifts to the Rakshasa of Purgatory class and proclaims that the battle on the first floor of the Magic Tower ends here. He unleashes the triple gravity tribulation upon the Lion King, causing the monstrous beast to collapse to the ground. A dark energy erupts from his body, only to dissipate alongside a wave of radiant white light. Chi-Chen stands tall before the fallen creatures, harvesting their aura with a determined focus. As Sitchin reaches level 24, he seizes the opportunity to use Glutton on the ghost lion, eager to uncover its true class. The Lion King's energy surges toward him, swiftly absorbed by Glutton. Clenching his fist around the newfound power, the revelation unfolds. The Lion King was a beast tamer, a class skilled in forging contracts with creatures. Chi-Chen realizes this is the first time he's witnessed that class in action. It becomes clear why the Lion King never engaged in direct combat. With his other stats not particularly high, he had to depend entirely on his contracted beasts to inflict damage. The teleportation ability also serves as a valuable asset in this strategy. The logic of the class unfolds, forcing contracts, demands intimidation, and maintaining those contracts requires a constant exertion of pressure. Suddenly, the environment shifts without warning. Chi-Chen finds himself questioning whether this desolate, barren landscape is what the first floor of the Magic Tower once looked like. Curiosity gnaws at him. What could have happened here? Just then, a portal materializes directly in front of him. Chi-Chen recognizes it instantly as the passage to the second floor, and a surge of anticipation fills him. It has finally appeared. Before he can take a step forward, a pair of piercing purple eyes watches him from a distance. He turns around, and nestled within a pile of bones, something stirs. It's a small, adorable lion cub bound in chains. Chi-Chen wonders aloud if there might still be a stray lion cub on this floor, and it seems this little one is the last of its kind. He ponders the situation. He has already slain the Lion King, yet this cub remains, indicating it wasn't one of the Lion King's contracted beasts. Stellar chains are wrapped around its body, leading Sishin to suspect it may have been imprisoned by the Ghost Lion King. With a surge of determination, he activates his lightning energy, casting a brilliant light over the small lion before him. Without a moment's hesitation, he slices through the chains binding the cub. With a thud, the little creature faceplants into the ground. Chi-Chen gently reassures it, saying he's returning its freedom and that this place should be its true home. He confesses that he understands the pain of losing companions and a home of his own. The lion cub looks up at him, clearly moved by his words. Chi-Chen continues, advising the cub that even if it ends up alone, it should hold on to hope, as he himself has a destination to reach. However, just as he turns back toward the portal, it abruptly closes. Suddenly, a beast contract request appears. Chi-Chen spins around to see a notification hovering above the cub, marked as contractable. The Lion King Leo is eager to form a contract with Sitchin. Chi-Chen kneels down and asks the small creature if it wants to join him on his journey. In response, Leo lets out nothing more than an adorable little roar. Chi-Chen then lays out the reality of their adventure, cautioning that he intends to clear the entire Magic Tower, where the monsters only grow more ferocious with each level. Undeterred, the tiny lion stands its ground, ready for the challenge ahead. Chi-Chen accepts this as his answer and agrees to sign the contract. With the pact officially established with the Lion King Leo, a passive ability activates, returning experience and attributes to the master in equal proportion. Additionally, it grants him the beast's keen vision. Chi-Chen turns to Leo and declares that they will be moving together from now on, emphasizing the importance of keeping Leo safe during battles. With their plan in place, the duo steps onto a new floor of the Magic Tower. The atmosphere envelops them instantly. It's a volcanic landscape filled with searing heat and rivers of molten rock. Chi-Chen can't help but comment, "It's so hot here, I feel like I might just melt away." Leo wanders curiously toward the lava, only to leap back as the intense heat hits him. Shichen, intrigued yet cautious, wonders aloud what awaits them on this floor. His question is soon answered when something hurtles straight toward him. Shichen spins around at full speed, but it's not enough to evade the impending danger. He takes a direct hit to the chest, completely blindsided and unable to react. Then, he jolts awake, his heart racing. As he processes the shock of what just happened, he's left stunned by the realization that he never saw it coming, and in an instant, he lost his life. Curiosity gnaws at him. He needs to understand the terrifying combat he just experienced, and the kind of monster lurking on that second floor. Before he can linger on his thoughts, Siyun calls out from the other room, inviting her brother to join her for breakfast. She has prepared a truly beautiful spread, and Sichin can't help but admire the effort she put into it. She reminds him to wash the dishes after dinner and to hang the laundry from the machine in about half an hour. Then, with a teasing smile, she asks if he knows where she's rushing off to now that summer break has begun. Sayun explains that she has a summer job. Shichen gently reminds her that he had offered to handle the financial side of things. She waves off his concern, insisting that her older brother has already established a reputation, and she refuses to fall behind. Besides, she adds with a hint of humor, sitting around doing nothing during the holidays would drive her crazy anyway. She closes the door behind her, reminding him once more about the dishes and the laundry. Sichin nods and gets to work. He washes the dishes and hangs the clothes out to dry, his mind wandering to Shuyin. Even at her young age, she exudes a remarkable drive and determination that never fails to impress him. Standing beside her, he finds himself feeling surprisingly cared for. His thoughts drift to the future. Once the university matters are settled, he will have to confront the Demon King Arawa. When that moment arrives, he knows he won't be able to stay by Xiao Yun's side for much longer. She is the one person he cannot help but worry about. Then, a realization strikes him. He touches his forehead, contemplating the thought. Perhaps he can actually do something about it. Suddenly, a portal opens, and Leo drops straight onto his back. Sichin processes the idea and realizes it's true. He can summon his contracted beast from the dream magic tower into the waking world. Meanwhile, Leo wastes no time, immediately beginning to wreak havoc in the apartment. Shichen contemplates that if this plan succeeds, he can leave Leo with Xiao Yun while he's away. Should she ever find herself in danger, Leo would be able to reach her swiftly. After all, Xiao Yun has adored dogs since childhood, so a small lion might just be the perfect companion. Suddenly, a loud crash from the other room jolts him from his thoughts. He opens the door and is met with the chaos Leo has unleashed. He reassures himself that everything is probably fine. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, a security camera lies shattered on the ground. A hunter finds himself cornered, brandishing ice daggers as he pleads with the creature not to advance. But a claw, eerily reminiscent of Lan West, lunges toward him, piercing through his chest with chilling ease. With a final, fragmented question, the hunter gasps. What is this thing? What kind of monster could it possibly be? But before he can grasp the answer, the claw envelops him completely, silencing his inquiry forever. Later that day, Xiao Yun heads home, muttering to herself that her shift is finally over. The sheer number of customers buying milk tea during summer break has been truly overwhelming. She wonders if her brother will enjoy the flavor she chose for him. As she turns on to the path leading home, she suddenly stops, glancing back over her shoulder. The color drains from her face when a voice calls out, announcing that she has finally arrived. Jin Duoxin stands before Sichin, a bouquet of flowers in hand, and tells her he's been waiting for quite some time. He gently reminds her of the last occasion when she left school without even glancing at his invitation. But this time, he assures her, there's no need to worry. He has reserved the entire top floor of the Saifeng building for that evening. Meanwhile, Xiao Yun, curious, asks how he managed to find out where Sichin lives. Jin Duoxin nonchalantly reveals that his father is the director of the top hospital, making such information trivial for him. Xiao Yun, however, responds firmly, stating that they inhabit different worlds and asks him not to seek her out again. Undeterred, Jin Duoxin grips her wrist, his tone shifting. He demands to know if she understands the effort it took to reserve an entire floor of the Shifeng building. On top of that, he had invited a large crowd and her absence was a significant affront. Xiao Yun retorts, questioning why she should even acknowledge him. She points out that his presence, lurking around her home, is genuinely unsettling. Jin Duoxin fires back, demanding to know who she thinks she is. He insists he has been more than generous with her, and warns her that he could make her life very difficult in less than a minute. Xiao Yun responds to the threat with a swift headbutt, connecting squarely with his face. "Get that brain of yours checked at the hospital," she snaps, her voice firm. "And don't bother me again. You've completely ruined my day." Later, back at home, Xiao Yun cradles Leo in her hands, her heart swelling with joy. She asks where on earth Shichen found such an adorable magical beast. Jichen replies that the creature's name is Leo, and now he is her responsibility. Xiao Yun marvels at the fact that only adult male lions are supposed to have manes, yet this tiny creature already boasts a full one. Jichen watches her with a smile, feeling quietly satisfied that she has clearly taken to Leo. With that, he realizes there's nothing left to worry about at home. Suddenly, his phone buzzes and a smile lights up his face. His proposal for the guild department review has been approved, clearing the way for his plan to move forward without any obstacles. In just 6 days, he will tackle the supplementary test. Meanwhile, out in the suburbs near the Greenlight Forest, Gongshuan meticulously lays out the details of the evaluation. After careful consideration, it has been determined that the test will be held within the lair of Greenlight Forest. The analysis equipment has classified this lair as a D rank. As previously agreed, both candidates will be evaluated in the same demonic lair. Due to the unpredictable nature of a wild demonic lair, which poses far greater risks than a standard one, 3 guild members have been dispatched. They will accompany the 2 candidates, providing both protection and real-time performance evaluations. The outcome of this test will hinge entirely on the scores assigned by these examiners. Gonglin reflects on the importance of their performance, determined to ensure everything goes smoothly and without a trace. Meanwhile, Yuan Long observes that the vice president's trip concluded 2 days ago and questions why he remains on site. Carl, glancing at a photo of the 2 candidates, remarks, "There's nothing more interesting happening anywhere else right now." He reflects on how many years it has been since he last witnessed a duel between true prodigies, a memory that stirs a sense of anticipation within him. Gongshuan officially announces the commencement of the individual supplementary evaluation. It's Sai Chen versus Gong Yan, and the match begins now as both competitors step through the portal. Sai Chen steps into the other dimension, finding himself enveloped by an expansive forest. Beside him stands Gong Yan, while Kai Yu notes that they seem to have entered a flower-type demonic lair. Suddenly, a message materializes before Si Chen. Emanating from the demonic core, it delivers a stark warning. A high-risk magical beast has been detected nearby. The warning vanishes as swiftly as it appeared. Sai Chen can't help but ponder whether even a rank D demonic lair might conceal powerful magical beasts within its steps. The 2 candidates venture further along the forest path. Sai Chen and Gong Yan stride side by side through the thick undergrowth, while Kai Yu, observing from the monitoring room, takes note of the increasingly dense fog. She reminds everyone to keep their eyes glued to the candidates at all times. Suddenly, something stirs beneath the ground. A rank D venomous ant erupts from the earth, and Gong Yan has his sword drawn before the creature is even fully visible. Without a moment's hesitation, he charges straight at it. Sato watches in awe, noting that Gong Yan's reaction speed is almost unnaturally quick. However, he reminds himself that magic beasts from a wild demonic lair are far tougher and more vicious than anything the candidates have encountered in a school setting. The ant unleashes a shot of corrosive venom, but Gong Yan slices through the projectiles midair, never breaking his stride. He cleaves the creature in 2, then thrusts his katana straight into its chest, releasing a searing burst of energy. His blade ignites with the intensity of the strike, illuminating the battlefield with its fiery glow. The instructors analyze each performance in detail. Kai Yu awards 10 points for swiftly attacking the moment the beast appeared and neutralizing every ranged assault before it could strike. Yvonne concurs, highlighting how Gong Yan accurately identified the venomous shots and severed the organs responsible, rendering the creature completely defenseless. Sato confidently delivered a decisive finishing blow, showing no hesitation. The entire sequence was executed with the precision of a surgeon's scalpel, especially impressive considering it was against a rank D magic beast from a wild demonic lair. In stark contrast, the other candidate, Sai Chen, remained unfazed by the beast's appearance. He simply strolled around the area as if nothing had happened at all. Gong Yan casts a puzzled glance in his direction. Meanwhile, near the screening room, Carl calls out to Yuan Long, inquiring about his thoughts on what Si Chen might be searching for. He shares his own theory, suggesting that Si Chen is on a quest to find a way to achieve a perfect score in a single move. Just then, Si Chen halts in front of a tree. His eyes land on a root at his feet, and suddenly something clicks in his mind. He unsheathes his lightning weapon, declaring triumphantly that he has found what he was searching for. With a swift thrust, he drives it deep into the heart of the vines, triggering a massive explosion that reverberates through the area. In the chaos, creatures begin to surge forth from the ground in alarming numbers. Caillou stares in disbelief, realizing he just intentionally disturbed a monster's nest. Sato nods in agreement, grimly noting that these are rank D magic beasts, and Si Chen has just put everyone nearby in grave danger. Gong Yan observes intently, attempting to decipher Si Chen's strategy. Unfazed, Si Chen activates the God of Lightning and propels himself forward at full speed, slicing through every creature that dares to confront him. He cuts through them relentlessly, one after another, until the dust finally settles, revealing that every last foe has been vanquished. The protagonist stands with his weapons lowered, surrounded by the fallen bodies of the beasts. The instructors are in shock, struggling to comprehend the scene before them. They point out that the report classified Si Chen as only rank E, yet here he is, having taken down so many rank D magical beasts. Ivan, with a flat expression, states firmly that there's no way to justify giving this candidate a low score. Gong Yan remains silent, simply calling out Si Chen's name. Meanwhile, in the room, Carl is ecstatic. He exclaims that the old man predicted this perfectly a showdown right at the beginning of the evaluation. The real question now is how Gong Yan will respond. Observing quietly, Gong Lin slowly clenches his fist, tension building in the air. Suddenly, the feed begins to falter. The screen is consumed by static, and the signal vanishes completely. Yan Long furrows his brow, questioning why the signal has dropped once more. Meanwhile, outside the demonic lair, a scientist remains focused at his terminal, fingers flying across the keyboard, when an unusual signal suddenly registers on the system. The rank classification shifts, moving from rank D to an unknown status that the system cannot identify. The scientist stares at the screen, bewildered by the sudden change. Meanwhile, within the lair, the entrance has inexplicably vanished, completely gone. Suddenly, a haunting melody begins to drift into the protagonist's ears. He recognizes it instantly. The voice of the Demon King of Wrath echoes ominously. Gong Xuan reports that the entrance has disappeared, leaving them baffled. All they know is that their equipment detected a sudden anomaly in the signal. He realizes they must urgently call for reinforcements from their superiors, fearing that something has gone terribly wrong inside the den. Meanwhile, the haunting melody continues to resonate, relentless and unyielding. Gong Yan glances around, feeling utterly disoriented. Caillou breaks the silence, asking if the others heard that noise. Sato chimes in, noting it sounds like some strange, unsettling sound. Meanwhile, inside, Si Chen is consumed by a single thought. That sound belongs to the Demon King of Wrath. He can't fathom why it's echoing here now, 5 years ahead of schedule. A high-level organism has been detected, and the demonic heart has already issued its warning. Something sinister lurks just behind him. Suddenly, the chilling laughter of the Demon King of Wrath echoes through the air. Sato peers into the dense fog, his heart racing as he demands to know what creature hides within. Then, from the depths of the mist, the Demon King of Wrath emerges. He tells them they took the bait perfectly. Sato, stunned, asks if that monster just spoke. He quickly processes the implications, realizing that any beast capable of human speech is at least rank C. The thought of such a creature residing in a rank D demonic den leaves him bewildered. A monster of that caliber is far too dangerous for the candidates. Sato charges ahead, wielding his purple axe and urging everyone to take cover behind him. But in an instant, the axe is sliced clean in two. The Demon King of Wrath lunges forward with his insect blade, leaving both Caillou and Ivan frozen in disbelief. Swiftly, the Demon King darts behind Gong Yan, and before anyone can react, he plunges his claw straight through the young master. He boldly declares that he will take all their lives right here. Pain tears through Gong Yan's body, but he steels himself and retaliates, slicing off the Demon King's claw with a swift stroke of his sword. The Demon King recoils in shock. Seizing the moment, Gong Yan delivers a powerful kick to the monster's abdomen, sending it staggering backward. Gong Yan speaks up, his tone calm and direct. The boss attacked me first, he asserts. According to the priority rule for clearing a demonic den, this one belongs to me. Stay out of it, Si Chen. Si Chen activates his demonic hard eyes, assessing the situation. Gong Yan registers as a middle rank C, while the Demon King of Wrath looms above him, marked as an upper rank. Ivan and Caillou hurriedly approach, insisting that the young master requires immediate medical attention and that the test must be halted after all. The boss is far too dangerous for him. However, Gong Yan stands firm in his refusal. He presses the searing heat of his flames directly onto his wound, staunching the bleeding with a grim determination. Sai Chen observes quietly, taking note of how Gong Yan skillfully uses the heat to cauterize the injury right then and there. Gong Yan dismisses the concern with a wave, asserting that the fight is far from over. He and the Demon King of Wrath close the distance between them, and Gong Yan readies his weapon. Meanwhile, outside the den, a man shares a chilling insight. There have been instances where the entrance to a demonic den vanished entirely. This indicates that highly intelligent beasts lurk within, capable of opening the entrance themselves, luring unsuspecting humans inside, and then ensnaring them. Gongxuan wonders aloud what their next move should be, realizing that forcing the entrance open from the outside is impossible. Lin Wuke responds that there's only one way to make the exit reappear. The people inside must defeat the den boss themselves. Gongxuan thinks for a moment, concluding that it shouldn't be too challenging since they're up against a rank C boss, and their group average is around that same rank. Lin Wuke quickly corrects him. The rank D classification is merely a facade, carefully crafted by the boss within. From his observations, it's clear that this demonic den is likely the true mastermind behind the disappearances of the awakened individuals they have been investigating for so long. In reality, this place is a high-risk demonic den of rank B. Gong Yan stands firm as the monster unleashes a relentless barrage of attacks, parrying each strike with precision while maintaining a flawless combat stance. As Ara winds up for a powerful charge, Gong Yan deftly leaps out of the way, causing the creature to crash its arm into the ground instead. That moment is all Gong Yan needs. He shouts that the monster's guard is finally down, and with one swift motion, he decapitates it. The severed head rolls across the ground, leaving Caillou in stunned disbelief. "Did you really take down the boss all by yourself?" she asks, struggling to comprehend what she just witnessed. The consensus is clear. The young master Gong Yan is not to be underestimated. Meanwhile, Ivan approaches Sato, who reassures him that he received timely treatment. However, Sato's attention is suddenly drawn to his wristband. The connection to the outside world has vanished. Alarmed, Ivan checks his own wristband and discovers the same unsettling truth. Caillou addresses the group, confirming that all signals have been severed and the positioning system is malfunctioning. She muses aloud about when the camera drone might have stopped functioning as well. Gong Yan, caught off guard, glances to the side in surprise. That moment of distraction nearly proves disastrous, as Ara is already pulling itself up from the ground. The creature lunges at the young man, but Gong Yan reacts swiftly, slicing it into several pieces. Shi Chen registers 200 experience points from the kill. Confusion washes over Gong Yan. He distinctly severed the beast's head, so why is it still moving? Shi Chen clarifies that the magical beast they just battled was merely a decoy, not the true boss. From the very beginning, it had been under a hypnotic spell, which explained why it continued to move even after losing its life. He urgently warns everyone to leave this demonic lair at once. If they linger, they risk becoming the next victims of the hypnosis. Gong Yan, puzzled, asks how Shi Chen could possibly know all of this. But before anyone can explore that question further, Sato interjects, dismissing Shi Chen's words as mere nonsense. A demonic lair of this caliber would typically house a boss no higher than rank C at most, yet he refuses to accept that what they just battled was not the true leader. Suddenly, a new warning flashes across the protagonist's field of vision. Threads of webbing begin to spread throughout the area, and a hypnotic melody starts to draw Caillou in. Ivan and Sato succumb to its allure just as swiftly. Shi Chen claps his hands over his ears, but he knows it's already too late for the others. He recognizes this sonic frequency all too well. In his past life, Ira wielded this exact sound wave. It's a haunting memory one that reminds him of losing CU, witnessing this creature use that hypnotic frequency to drain the lives from countless ordinary humans within an entire monster den. Shi Chen glances to the side. Alarmed, the three rank C fighters are already on the move, heading toward the source of the disturbance. The protagonist realizes that this demonic lair must be directly connected to Ira, and they all need to converge at the same point immediately. The entire group ventures deeper into the lair, warnings piling up around the protagonist as they finally confront an enormous creature seated on a throne. Surrounding it are several nests and scattered blades, remnants of past encounters. Shi Chen processes the scene swiftly in his mind. Just like Ira, the hypnotic sound waves emanating from this creature operate within the alpha frequency band. As he prepared to confront Ira, he had devised an audio countermeasure specifically tuned to the beta band, capable of neutralizing its influence. However, the people around him lacked any form of protection against hypnosis. At any moment, one of them could lose their life. He needed to eliminate both threats simultaneously. Meanwhile, Ira's voice echoed from its throne, an insatiable demand for fresh flesh, rich flesh repeating endlessly in a relentless, ravenous loop. In a vivid memory from his past, 8-year-old Gong Yan stands resolutely, a stick clutched tightly in his hand. His father watches proudly, praising him for his victory once again. The rules are simple. The winner earns a meal, while the loser must endure the night on their knees. As the hours drag on, Gong Cheng's stomach growls, a painful reminder of his hunger. Gong Yan quietly offers his brother a piece of bread, urging him to eat. Gong Cheng leans in, whispering a warning that if their father discovers this, they will both face punishment once more. Gong Yan dismisses the concern, insisting he should just eat. Suddenly, a width cracks across Gong Yan's face, and their father strides toward him, a menacing presence. He poses a chilling question. Does Gong Yan understand how the Gong family achieved its current status? The answer, as he sees it, is straightforward. He has always been the victor, and only those who win have the authority to dictate the rules. The two boys need only to abide by his. Gong Yan challenges him, asking if that means he could set the rules if he defeats his father. His father merely laughs at the notion. The following day, Gong Yan's sword lies in ruins, shattered beyond repair. He crashes to the ground, wounded, and makes it clear that his challenge was aimed solely at his father, not the others. With a fierce determination, he demands to know why his father sent members of the Emperor's squadron to confront him. His father responds, explaining that true strength extends beyond personal power. It encompasses the influence one wields. The rules of the human world, he asserts, are far more complex than Gong Yan ever imagined. Yet, amidst this complexity, there remains one undeniable truth. The truth is simple. To win is everything. The means are irrelevant. Only the outcome matters. For Gong Yan, his son, nothing comes before victory. Even if it means sacrificing everything, he must prevail. His father's words echo in his mind. Winning is the only value he possesses in this world. These sentiments linger with Gong Yan, a constant reminder of his purpose. Meanwhile, back in the Den of Wrath, the scene resumes right where we left off with our protagonist. He channels his electricity, poised to end the boss fight in an instant. But just then, Gong Yan seizes his hand, urging him to wait. Blood drips from his wounds as he confesses that he doesn't know how the protagonist broke free from the hypnosis. Yet, he managed to maintain his own consciousness in his own way. With urgency, he warns that if they act recklessly now, it could put everyone in their group at risk. He gestures toward the eggs scattered around them. If anyone dares to disturb those eggs, they won't just be facing the boss. They'll be up against dozens of rank C magical beasts, and that will undoubtedly cost them their lives. Gong Yan continues, revealing that the boss has intentionally disguised this place as a low-level demon den, specifically to lure in awakened individuals and drain them of their strength. The boss will approach them on his own. The plan is to remain hidden, wait for him to draw closer, and then strike together. Sai Chen interjects, surprised that Gong Yan had anticipated this much, but he quickly identifies a critical flaw in the strategy. The boss doesn't even need to move. With just a thought, he can command every hypnotized individual in the room to end their own lives simultaneously. Sai Chen activates the God of Lightning, swiftly neutralizing the hypnotized individuals before they can react. The boss notices the commotion and mutters to himself, realizing that something must have been mixed into the food. Suddenly, the eggs begin to crack, claws burst through the shells, and grotesque creatures emerge, eerily resembling the carcass they had encountered earlier. The boss issues the command, sending the mantises surging toward the group. As the creatures close in, Gong Yan steps forward, determined to put an end to the threat. But just as he prepares to act, the protagonist appears behind him, clarifying that there was a misunderstanding earlier. He has accepted the additional test. He tells Gong Yan to leave this one to him, his gaze fixed on the towering figure of the boss above. The protagonist makes his intentions clear. That boss is his to confront. Gong Yan pushes back, urgency in his voice. There's no way we can win. The strength of this boss far exceeds ours. It's at least a rank B, possibly even touching rank A. His conclusion is resolute. They must evacuate everyone immediately, as it's the only viable option. The protagonist recognizes the formidable challenge posed by the boss ahead, but he highlights a crucial detail. The gates of the demonic lair have already sealed shut. If they hadn't, the Imperial Guild Squad would have already arrived on the scene. Gong Yan's eyes widen in surprise at the observation. The protagonist activates his demonic eye, meticulously scanning the boss. However, he struggles to determine its rank. Internally, he reasons that if it truly is rank A, its combat power would rival that of the Ghost Lion King from the Magic Tower. But before either of them can ponder further, a swarm of praying mantis monsters surges toward them. The protagonist intercepts the first strike, deflecting it with a surge of lightning. Just then, a second creature attempts to flank him from the side. Gong Yan shouts a warning, swiftly slashing at the creature, while the protagonist keeps the first at bay. But more monsters flood in from every direction, relentless and overwhelming. Gong Yan grimaces, realizing the grim truth. With this many foes, they will eventually be worn down. The protagonist channels his energy, summoning his electric blade and unleashing it in a sweeping arc that cleaves through the swarm. The attack slices through dozens of the mantis creatures in one powerful strike. With a surge of determination, he presses forward, invoking the god of lightning, and swiftly dispatches 3 more with precision and speed. Gong Yan watches in disbelief, struggling to process the scene unfolding before him. The assassin class is notorious for its low raw strength, and being surrounded like this should spell disaster. Yet, the protagonist strikes each vital point with surgical precision, compensating for the lack of brute force with sheer speed and skill. Gong Yan estimates that the speed at which he's moving is at least on par with a rank A fighter. Gripping his sword tightly, he steadies himself, allowing a flicker of hope to ignite within him. Perhaps, just perhaps, they actually have a chance at victory. But the boss has had enough. With a menacing roar, it declares that this has gone on long enough and activates its supreme enhancement. The mantis creatures under its command surge forward with renewed vigor, launching themselves at the protagonist with relentless speed. The boss of wrath barks the order, urging them to tear the protagonist apart. Shi Chen anticipates the incoming strike, sidestepping effortlessly and dismantling the attacker with a few precise cuts. Gong Yan steels himself, urging himself to hold the line. The protagonist charges ahead, striking down monster after monster without a moment's hesitation. Suddenly, one of the creatures lunges at Shi Chen, but she reacts with lightning speed, turning the tide. In a flurry of swift cuts, she lands several blows on the beast before it can even mount a counterattack. Another monster pivots, landing a heavy arm strike on the protagonist and sending him skidding back a step. Shi Chen quickly assesses the situation. These magically enhanced beasts are approaching rank B in raw attributes. Their shells are incredibly tough, making it increasingly difficult to strike their vital points with precision. He needs to find a way to penetrate that armor. Just then, Gong Yan calls out to him. The time the protagonist bought him was precisely what he needed. His final attack is now fully charged. Meanwhile, Zhu Tong arrives at the rented apartment, breathless and apologetic, explaining that she got held up picking up drinks. Ziyun reassures her, saying there's no need to worry. Her brother still hasn't returned home. Zhu Tong wonders if her brother even knows she passed the Art Academy exam. Ziyun replies that she mentioned to him she had something important to share today, but he might be back late. Just then, she realizes they're out of garlic sauce. Turning to Zhu Tong, she says, "Wait here at the apartment while I head out with Lu to grab some. I'll pick up a snack while I'm at it." At Ji's convenience store, the payment processes smoothly. Ziyun quietly observes Lu. Noting how well-behaved he is, she remains silent and still in her bag. She mentally resolves to buy him some biscuits next time. However, in the nearby alleyways, someone is watching. One man turns to his partner, revealing that he's been keeping an eye on her for some time. He asks, "Should we move in?" The other voice urges him to hold off, to wait until she's out of sight of the camera before making a move. Meanwhile, Ziyun continues her walk home, blissfully unaware that the men are shadowing her every step. However, she soon senses something amiss, quietly acknowledging to herself that these men have been tailing her since she left the store. Curiosity mingles with unease as she wonders what their intentions might be. Lu emits a low growl, prompting Ziyun to quietly ask if he senses the danger as well. She urges him to stay hidden and out of sight. It feels like they're on the brink of being drawn into something significant. Meanwhile, back at the den, the scene resumes just as Shi Chen had left it, with Gong Yan preparing to deliver his finishing blow. He proclaims it his ultimate killing strike, certain that even a rank A boss won't survive, let alone leave anything behind. The praying mantis creatures are incinerated instantly, reduced to mere dust on the ground. The strike then arcs toward the boss itself, the full force of the blow bearing down. The explosion erupts, sending shockwaves through the air. Gong Yan collapses to his knees, utterly exhausted, exhaling a breath of relief as he whispers that it's finally over. He gazes out at the devastation, believing the fight has come to an end. But then, the boss's voice cuts through the silence. It questions whether that was truly all Gong Yan had to offer. Both men snap their heads up in disbelief. The monster coldly declares that they are nothing but worthless humans. Gong Yan struggles to comprehend the events that just unfolded. He had poured every ounce of his strength into that strike, yet the boss remains unscathed. A moment later, Shichen pieces it together. Just before the blow landed, the boss siphoned the power from every magical beast in the den, creating a formidable defensive barrier around himself. With a heavy heart, Gong Yan mutters that this is it. They're going to die here. But Shichen calls out to him with a proposition. You can take the credit for the victory, he offers, and I'll handle the loot. There's just one condition, and it's non-negotiable. Whatever unfolds next, Gong Yan must keep it a secret. Gong Yan stares at him, a mix of curiosity and disbelief. Are you really a dual-class user? He asks. As he speaks, the energy from every defeated creature on the ground starts to swirl inward, drawn to Shichen like a moth to a flame. Shichen activates the Ruin of All Bones, a formidable ability from the Rakshasa of Purgatory class. A surge of power courses through him, shattering everything in the immediate vicinity. Gong Yan stands frozen in shock, while Ira remains unfazed. With a confident smirk, Shichen reminds them of his earlier declaration.
This boss is mine!